Yo, Dancefair
Yo.
TV.
What's
Welcome,
up?
ladies and gentlemen. Today I got a very special guest in the studio right now. Some of you might not know this guy, and I know a lot of you will know this guy because he's been around for quite a long time.
Yeah, man.
He's a DJ, right?
Not anymore, actually, but I've been a DJ for about 10 years.
All right. Producer, also not anymore.
Well, fun fact, since about a month again.
Oh, you got the itchies and the scratchies.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. It's been maybe even longer, but the itches finally came back. So I felt like creating a new track again and actually releasing it this Friday.
All right.
But decided to do it in collaboration with my coaching thing. So I'm releasing movies to show people how the promotion and marketing is being done. So it's like a knife that's cutting on both sides.
All right, cool. So you said you're coaching, and that is actually your main thing right now.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeySuki. He's from the Netherlands. He used to be a DJ. He used to be an amazing producer, and right now he is an artist coach.
Yes.
All right, well, welcome to Dancefair.
Thank you, man.
And I'm really happy you're here because we had a lot of artists talking about production, about traveling, about touring, about all the bits and pieces, and everybody's so focused on how to get famous, how to get out there, how to make a name, how to be a brand.
Yeah.
And I've always been nagging to the owners of Dancefair and nagging to the owners of the Amsterdam Dance event, like, all your panels are about getting there. But there is no panel called, I'm famous, now what?
Now what? Yeah, that's the big question. That's actually the biggest question, I think. Like, becoming famous is, it's easier nowadays because of social media, and you can do you can buy a lot of stuff actually.
Yeah.
But when you're famous, that's, I think, the hardest part, because it's something you have to be ready for mentally, physically. Your surroundings have to be ready for it. So your family, your friends, your girlfriend, all those things. It's hard.
Yeah, and everybody is always being shown the upside of it, because if you watch my Instagram story, I mean, I'm Dutch. That is no secret.
Yeah.
And the Dutch are not allowed to be proud of a whole lot of our heritage because, well, if you read our history books, we've done some fucked up shit.
We need to make up.
Yeah, but there's only one thing you can be proud of when you're Dutch, and that's the fact that there is not a race or a culture or a country in the world that is better at nagging than Dutch people.
We do, yeah.
I mean, we have
True.
turned nagging about and whining about little things into like an art form.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the few.
That's what you do right now, or?
Yeah, I'm always nagging, but once you nag, you improve. But I always try to show also the messed up side of things. It's easy, I think, as an artist to show, hey, look, I'm drinking champagne. Hey,
Private
nice,
jets.
I'm with girls. It's hard to show the morning after. And
To me, that's like the funniest thing to see from someone
Exactly.
like you or from other artists. That's what I would like to see.
I mean, I had a night like that 3 nights ago. I was in China.
Still recovering.
I was still. I woke up 10 o'clock the next day in the
wow.
evening. I woke up and I was like Sherlock Holmes, watching through my phone, like, what the fuck did I do?
Searching for clues.
Yeah, it turned out I actually had a great night.
Oh.
But the artist life, and you're here to tell a little bit about mental health and mental coaching.
Yeah.
Before we get started, we need to build some credibility for the
Sure.
people that don't know you that well.
Sure.
You are an artist coach. So can you name a few artists you're coaching right now or a few companies you work with that people might know?
I actually never name any names.
Good.
because- Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah, that's just because privacy and stuff, and not everyone wants to be named, of course.
Obvious.
But most of the time, it's like producers who are already creating their own music and simply looking for guidance to promote their music, market their music.
Just to dig in there without calling names, are we talking about type of DJs in their bedroom, or are we talking about the kind of DJs that, are at the phase in their life where basically the business class seat is their bedroom?
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
All right.
both.
So you like the AAA market and the future
exactly.
AAA market.
And when I started off, like, to me, this was a trial as well. I had the burnout. I came out of the burnout feeling better, and I decided to change my life because the artist life simply wasn't made for me. so I started to think, okay, what should I do now? I quit school because of being a DJ and traveling the world and producing music. And
What kind of school do you do?
I did Rock Academy for 1 year.
All right, rock. And before that,
I did Fontis, like tour. What's it called? Tourist school, like tourist
all
management.
right, tourism and
tourism management,
leisure management.
Yeah, those kind of things, but just for 3 months, and then I quit.
You're like, I'm not cut out for this tourist life, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna get paid and travel.
Yeah, exactly. But I made all those life decisions. So quitting school and spending all the time I had in music, not thinking it could ever become my profession. It was just a hobby, and it was something I enjoyed doing, and it happened to be something that I was good at actually. And because I was good at in it, and because I spent so much hours in it, in my bedroom, not going to school, but spending all those hours into music. I started off at my parents' place, like most.
I think everybody,
everyone did.
Everybody starts out in the bedroom.
Exactly, yeah. That's like the trademark you have to get.
If you didn't start in the bedroom, you're not going to get there.
Yeah. Same for me. I started off with Epster, you know him as well.
Yeah.
And he's also from my hometown.
Tilburg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bassjackers as well. Same period. The same guys, same period.
I'm throwing a party in Tilburg in March, actually.
I noticed, man.
Yeah.
I actually live around the corner, so I'll be dropping by.
Oh, definitely. I'll put you on the guest list as well.
Man. I'll come and grab a drink.
For the people that don't know, did we ever work on a track? Because I've been in your studio 6 years ago.
We worked on the track, but we've never finished it. But we were talking about it before. I think it's already 5 years ago, maybe even 6.
You know what? Send me whatever, if you still got some parts of it, because the music we wanted to make back then is sort of in fashion right now.
Yeah, that's the fun thing. Like the sneakers Nope is Dope kind of sound is coming back, of course, on another level, like the sounding is way better, because when I listen back to my tracks
my God, those tracks
you still
back
remember
in the days.
Bombasi and all those
Yeah,
things?
I mean, I used to
Shit.
Google my ass off trying to find your tracks and Abs's tracks and all these sneaker guys from back in the days.
I actually listened to all of them last week on the internet, because some of them I just lost them on my computer. So
it happens.
It happens. But I listened to them and I was like, wow, this is.
But those were crazy times.
At that time, like, when I think back at that time, it was crazy, because I can still remember hearing the track in the club.
Yeah.
And it was like, cool,
Yeah, but people right now, I don't think can understand that we used to have lineups with Hartwell, Afrojack, Quintino, Rehab, Abster, you. Well, I was always trying to get in those
Sidney
lineups,
Sampson
but for me it was really hard. Yeah, Sidney Sampson,
Criminology, all those guys.
all those guys, Chucky.
Yeah. Chucky, yeah.
And I think most of these guys got paid like 500 euros.
I got paid less, actually.
Yeah.
Like 250, maybe 300 euros a gig. And that was like the highest fee at that moment. So
And those lineups would easily sell out a venue of 6,000 people.
Yeah. I actually noticed, like, I'm not sure if it was a hoax, because I didn't find the original promoter, but I saw Nope is Dope's coming back to do a party?
The brand Nope is Dope has been sold several times. So the original guy where it was from, the guy everybody still gets money from,
okay.
that guy, no, he's not behind it as far as I know.
Okay,
And if it is, I'm going to be at front of the door with my invoice like, hey, Dick.
But they're doing
Get my money!
They're doing the venue in Eindhoven again.
Yeah.
In, I believe it was March. So and sneakers as well. And during ADE, they did the new like launching from the CD. They did a new CD as well.
Sneakers is coming back.
So yeah, it's
Come to think of it, Dirty House is the only thing that actually survived in 10 years.
exactly, because Dirty House started at that period. I
Yeah,
think.
it was Dirty House, Dirty Dutch.
It was
Nope is
Dirty
Dope.
House. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was all one big happy
I
family.
think the whole genre got called Dirty House, right? Dirty Dutch House.
Dirty Dutch, Dirty House, Dutch House. It got so big internationally, but at the time nobody had a clue what we were doing.
And if I listen back to those tracks right now, it's just children's music, like bleeps and kicks.
But it was original because
true,
nobody had a fucking clue what they
Yeah.
were doing. There wasn't like a really set arrangement that you
No.
had to follow or sounds that you had to use. Everybody was just free in their creativity and just smashing buttons and
that
making
was
crazy
really
shit.
cool, especially with Riverside, from
Yeah.
Sidney Sampson. That's a unique track.
That was a
and
game
it's just
changer.
a bleep with a cool groove, but somehow it's really catchy and it just keeps on sticking.
It's
there,
got that penguin thing going on.
Yeah. Someone, I think someone redid it like a few weeks ago and released it on Spinnin', but I'm not really sure. But I thought I saw it
It
somewhere.
wasn't me. I'm not touching any of Sidney Sampson's track again without his, written permission. I already screwed up on that one a long time
nice
ago.
one. Yeah.
But at one point, you were a DJ, you were a producer, and you were releasing on big labels. And I know I was always a fan of the quality of your sound because I was always, everything I made sounded a bit muddy, and your things always sounded clean. And then at one point, you went international.
Yep.
And then you snapped.
Yeah.
Then it all got too much. Can you tell us a little bit about what led up to the burnout?
Yeah, I'll give you a timeline. That's probably easier.
Yeah, because there's a lot of guys right now watching, and I think, if we look at the statistics, at least 10% of the audience listening right now is going towards the burnout.
Yeah.
So if we can stop at least one, this will be a very good episode.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you a quick timeline to give you a sight into what happened. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I started off producing in my bedroom, quit at school, and decided to, because I liked it and I wanted to go to the Rock Academy. So I just started to make music, and it got better and better. Started releasing on on sneakers, which were the tracks we were just recently talking about. And from there, I pretty quickly signed with Anna Agency, which is known from Hardwell, of course, and Danik and Dyro and
it's still,
Nicky
I
Romero.
think, the number 1 or number 2 agency in the Netherlands.
I think it's number one.
It's pretty much a battle between those two, I guess.
Exactly. But a lot of famous guys signed there. I signed together with Nicky Romero and Firebeats. We were the new 3 names at that moment. Nicky Romero, obviously, blew up. Firebeats blew up.
Hardwell, I don't think we need to tell that.
Exactly.
He blew up.
Yeah, he blew up. And I did well as well. Not as well as those guys, but I did well as well. I started to grow and grow and grow. Obviously, more international gigs, more tours, more releases. I did the collaboration with Hardwell, which helped me because he was getting bigger.
Yeah, you were getting released and revealed. And then there was India, right?
Exactly, yeah. And that was after about 4 years of heavily touring, so heavily traveling a lot on my own, actually, because I never traveled with someone else because it was too expensive, for bookers. That's a lot of people forget.
An extra ticket, extra transfer,
Exactly.
extra hotel room, because you don't want to be sleeping together.
Yeah.
This is the same thing with me and my MC.
Yeah.
I never sleep in the same room with Chen, not because I hate the guy, but,
It's expensive.
No, but besides the fact it is expensive, but, some people just snore or have a different biorhythm or fart in their sleep, I don't know.
Yeah, and having some privacy along the tour as well, You're constantly with each other. So it's nice to have your 2 or 3 hours a night, a day actually, where you can, where you can have a talk with your girlfriend or with your family or without anyone else listening.
Having some private time with the president.
Exactly, yeah. And but to me, I was always traveling myself. So after about 4 years, I went to India. I was just moved with my ex-girlfriend. We rented a new house, and it was completely new, so completely stripped. We had to do everything.
That's a big stress moment as well, man, redoing a house.
Yeah, and I'm more of the guy, like, if I'm going to do a new project, I'm going to do it quickly and fast and well, You
are the kind of perfectionist guy that does it that way. Yeah.
Exactly. So I planned out 2 weeks, actually 10 days, to do the moving and to do all the things, all the...
Wait. Normal human beings...
I know.
And I think most mammals as well... Don't do it in 10 days.
No, I know. But, in my head, it was really doable. And it was, in the end, because we made it. But it led to me being pretty tired and pretty mentally...
Have you ever heard of the saying, just because it's possible does not mean it has to be done?
Afterwards. I found out afterwards. But we moved, actually, in 10 days.
Respect
house.
for that one.
Yeah, thanks. All the stuff went to the new place. I slept there for 1, maybe 2 nights. And then I had to leave to India for 5 days, 3 gigs, which wasn't that weird for me, It's not something I've never done before.
Once you're there, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just a long international flight that kind of screws you up.
Well, India was about 6-7 hours, I guess, so it's not that long. But to me, it was just...
Do you realize how crazy this is? Because I know people that, are going for the first time on their holiday. It's like, oh, we're going to Spain and it's 1.5 hours of flying. What am I going to do? I need books. I need my
iPads,
PlayStation. I need everything. And you're like, 5-6 hours.
Yeah, to me that was...
Ain't no thing.
Yeah. Well, actually, something interesting I want to talk to you about after this
Right.
is about all the things I needed to change in my head to get used to the normal world. So remember that,
reintegrate
okay?
into normal
Exactly.
society.
Remember that because I want to mention.
I'm gonna write it down.
Cool. But okay, I left to India. Like I said, 5-day tour, 3 gigs, 3 different cities, so inbound flights as well. And yeah, when I arrived in India, it already started, you know, like I was mentally done, physically done because of the moving. I didn't had a home for my feeling at that moment because I was just...
You didn't mentally settle into your new house.
Exactly.
It was still a bit
I slept
strange.
there for 1 or 2 nights, you know. Everything was a mess.
You spent more time in hotels.
Yeah.
Than, all right. Yeah.
So
logical.
I felt like a hobo at that moment. I really didn't had a place in the world where my safe spot was, and I was already physically down, mentally down. So I arrived in India, a country where everything is different from where I live, you know, like everything's different. The temperature, the amount of people, the food, the level of hygiene. Exactly. So my body was at the lowest possible point ever, and my mind as well. And at that moment, you drop me in a completely different atmosphere to everything. So my body just started to
How did that song from Neophyte go? It's the sound of your brain cracking.
Yeah, well, that's what it felt like. But at that moment, I didn't had a clue what was happening to me.
So you were just there thinking you're tired, or I've moved, I'm in a good point in my life, and
Yeah. Well,
I can imagine that you're sort of torn up between the knowing from an outside point of view that you're actually in a great point in life. For people that are not you would say, what the hell are you bitching about? You're flying around the world. You got a new house.
And that's the
You've got a
fight.
girlfriend.
Yeah, and that's the constant fight that went on in my mind, you know, like that was actually one of the first times that I didn't felt like traveling, that I didn't felt like going on tour. I just wasn't feeling like it. Can
you explain that a little bit better? Because personally, I completely understand what you mean, but a lot of people think like, damn, you're living the dream life. But can you tell people why it wasn't the dream life?
To me, it was because it was really lonely, because I was always on my own. And of course, you're surrounded with a lot of people.
Yeah, but it's always superficial and it's always happy and fun. But
it's like always the same story, you know, same questions, same stories. You don't have any deep connection with someone else. And this sounds pretty lame, I know, but a person needs deep connections in his life. If it's with your family,
there is no level of trust you've got with random people you meet. They might be the nicest people ever, but sometimes you need like close friends and family that will tell you like, hey, Joey, can you shut the fuck up about music for 5 minutes and just chill?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And sometimes you just need to lay on the floor and pet a kitty.
Yeah, exactly.
Be a human.
And that's what never happens when you're on tour, because all the people that you meet are people that you don't really know.
It's one fucking roller coaster.
Yeah, it's just a roller coaster, and not only for your body, because the food's not that good, and you don't have like regular times that you eat. You know, like the pattern's completely fucked. So
your biorhythm is non-existent.
Yeah, so your body is having a bad time. It has to adapt to everything where you are. You know, in India, the temperature in the hotels it's like freezing. When you're outside, it's like 50 degrees.
The drought inside an airplane that will mess up your sinuses and everything.
Exactly, height, load, all the people around you, like all those impacts. Your brain
different spices in food and everything.
And your stomach as well. Like with the hygiene in India, your stomach and your body, it's going completely nuts. So while your body is already having a hard time, like
trying to
taking care of it, you know, like survive, the mental part also collapsed with me, because I was just at a really bad place at that moment, because I did the moving, and I think I was already walking with some kind of idea for about a few years that I didn't really felt home in this industry.
Yeah,
as an artist.
I know those ideas. Sometimes you don't have a whole idea that you can put into words. It's more like a shadow of an idea.
Yeah, I just
somewhere in there until you make the right connection. And it's like, I've been thinking this for for ages.
And that's exactly what happened to me. When I went to the psychologist and stuff, I started talking about it. And then I went to a career coach. It was something I've never heard
Before you continue, may I say that I think it's absolutely amazing that you're so open about this.
I actually talked about this as well, but to me this is like natural, you know. It's something that I experienced, it's something that I conquered in the end, and it's natural to me to share this, as I'm a really open guy. I don't really have secrets about anything. That's probably Dutch as well, you know. Like I'm really my tongue is my heart is on my tongue, and that's with this as well. Like why would I be ashamed to share this? And I actually really believe that if people feel bad about something in their life, like not even artists, but if you have a shitty job and you want to change your life, or if you're in a relationship and you're not happy, in the end, it's all about being happy, and happiness is different for everyone.
Yep.
And that's where I found out, like, the artist life isn't my happy place. But I just needed to find that out, and that's what happened at the career coach, actually. Because I did a personal test, like a personal, how do you call that?
Personality test.
Yeah, personality test.
What kind of job suits you, or what kind of guy
Yeah,
are you?
exactly. So I needed to do 2 tests: personality test and like career test, like job test.
Oh, I
So
hate doing those tests. They always say like the worst thing. Usually my personality test turns out I'm a complete psychopath. And my career test usually says something like, you're a complete psychopath. But no, for some reason I do really bad at tests.
Well, I did the personality test, and which wasn't really a surprise to me, as in I'm a really laid back guy. I don't really want to be in the picture, just as normal Joey, you know? Yeah, I'm sketching 2 different scenes.
Yeah.
Here. Like I have Joey and I have JoeySuki. That's how I see it. You have like a split.
Every artist
personality.
has that split, but it depends on what do you use of your own personality in your professional
exactly.
career.
And at my personality test, I found out that all the things I needed to do as a DJ and as a producer, which was the life that I was living at that moment, was like 180 degrees of what I should do as a person.
Oh wow!
And that was the moment for me when when the puzzle came together. When I was like, okay, what the fuck?
So for the first time you saw sort of factual information. Yeah. I mean, psychological test, it's always a bit subjective, but at least when there are healthcare professionals specialized in that area that could, show you like, dude, you're like, the square thingy trying to get into the round hole.
Yeah, there was like this graph, which was a round thing with like peaks in it, and the peaks were the things that was really important to you. So let's say colleagues, or working on your own, or like being a career tiger, or just being happy with a normal job, And there were a few peaks in it, like 2 or 3, and they were completely opposite of my personality. And I was like, wow. I couldn't have imagined taking a worse job than this, And I was like, okay, how did I manage to make that decision without even knowing it was the wrong decision?
Yeah, but I know why, because it is so attractive, the DJ life.
Yeah, that as well. But it's also something that it goes so slowly. It's not something that happens in a day, Like, yourself.
You get sucked into this.
Exactly. It starts off because it's a hobby, and it starts off because you do it because you like it.
I think what you just said is a major turning point. The moment that your hobby starts to become a career, when when music starts becoming music business, because then all of a sudden the biggest bitch of them all gets involved, called pressure.
Yep.
But for people that right now are on the verge of a burnout, that have no clue, what are the telltale signs where you can see, oh, this guy's going down, and like, yep, any second now?
Well, I'm not really a specialist when it comes down to burnouts, but I can tell you my story, as in I had a lot of panic attacks. Like I really started to felt like physically sick, like my body was giving me signals like something's going wrong, because it was just like action reaction, Something happened in my mind which told my body something's going wrong, I'm shutting down, which was throwing up, like shaking, being cold, being warm. All those things were signs from my body that something went wrong somewhere.
So sort of like an impending sense of doom in some way, or
it's like a precaution, your body is just it wants to protect you. Because
that's the strange thing about most panic attacks. They don't come with a manual.
No.
It's more like, here's a shitload of feelings and symptoms, but we're not going to tell you why.
Find out why. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow,
that's the hardest part. And I had my first panic attack in India, and that's why that whole trip was one bad trip for me, because I really didn't know what was happening to me. I just felt really sick, and at the same time panic in my head, like I couldn't make things straight, and I thought people were following me and stuff, and all those things, like the weirdest thoughts go through your head. And that was why that 5 days was like crazy for me.
I can imagine that was kind of a roller coaster.
Yeah, and that took my last energy, because I was already low on energy because I did the moving and stuff, and the traveling as well. I was tired, and bad food, because I also didn't eat that well, because I knew that hygiene was bad. So I lived on water and cookies, like dry cookies.
Very nutritional.
Yeah, it was terrible. And when your body is already weak, you don't give them you don't give it nutrition. It doesn't get any better.
Nope. Your
And
body
the
needs
heat
vitamins and dinners
Yep.
made by grandma.
So actually, when I cut back and when I went to the psychologist and stuff, and I sketched the scene, they were looking at me and said like, "You probably did like everything you could have done wrong in that 5 days went wrong." I was like, "Yeah,
So-
now I know."
So basically, when it comes to burnout, and
Mhm.
if burnouts were a game, and I'm not saying it's a game, and I'm not
Mhm.
saying it's funny, but if they were a game, you're the guy that chooses like easy, medium, or ultra hardcore mode.
I was ultra hardcore.
Yeah, let's
mode.
go for ultra
Yeah.
hardcore.
I was going all in.
So you went for like the platinum trophy.
Yeah,
If we're talking
exactly.
PlayStation here.
Yeah.
Damn.
And at that moment,
And once again, you're being a perfectionist. You don't get a regular burnout. You just go all the way.
I just go all in, and have the full experience.
But how did you? I mean, I think it's one thing that all happens,
Mhm.
and that's not a minor thing. That's mind crushing. And then you realized you had a burnout.
Yeah.
Well, yay! Now you have a label.
Yeah, and
And
that's
then what?
And that's like the hardest part, like figuring out you have a burnout and figuring out something is going wrong in your life isn't that hard. You probably feel like it because your body's telling it, like something's
Yeah.
going wrong. Okay, thanks. But then is the hardest part. What's going wrong? What's making you unhappy? What's making you feel this way? And I think, I'm not sure, those 2 years has been kind of
A blur.
a blur to me. I really can't pinpoint moments, but I do know what happened.
I know how that feels. It's called
It's like your
touring.
last weekend, exactly.
I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck I did, but
But what was I telling? I was.
you see, that is exactly the point.
That's the thing.
No, it's about coming back, and
yeah.
and that is what one point you wanted to focus on, and you said it earlier, the reintegration
Yeah.
into society. And I know from my experience as a DJ, and I've been doing the European summer tour for 2 months every year, just crazy flights every day, and luckily I have. I've seen all the sites, done the business in there, so I'm not really eager to go that crazy again. But I always had a difficulty after 2 months where every 8 hours there is at least one deadline. It's either an alarm clock, or you have to check in, you
Yeah.
have to check
Your
out, you have to
flights.
email, you have to
Yeah.
do an interview, you have to do a performance. And even though it all might be very fun things to do, it's the same with pancakes. Pancakes are amazing, but once you ate one too many, you don't
not
want to
fun
eat pancakes anymore.
No.
So every September, because I was usually, leaving in July, coming back at the end of August, I really had to reintegrate into society, and
Yeah.
my mind was all festivaled up. So I had a festival feeling at a Tuesday morning while I was
Yeah.
doing groceries, and damn, sometimes it
It's
took me
hard.
more than like 2 weeks before I was like
Yeah.
a functioning member of society.
Yeah.
And that sounds so...
And that's just 2 months. You have to get back.
But for
from,
you, that was years.
to me it was like 8 years, I think, something like that.
Fuck.
And actually, what I needed to do, like first, I think I didn't do anything for like a year. I was just trying to figure out what was happening and what I wanted to do with my life, and that took me, I think, for about a year, something like that.
Yeah, because I can imagine and that you've lost all anchor points. Your
Everything.
definition of
Everything.
normal. And
To me, like the most important things in your life, your relationship, your home, and your job. That's like the 3 things everything's around, built around.
things like what is your normal default setting for
Yeah, exactly.
how do I feel when I feel good? When you wake up,
Exactly.
you feel, I feel good.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, the work part was cut off because I was completely disconnected with being an artist and a producer, and I needed to find something else. So that was cut off. So that
Yep.
was already a problem. Then, because I was already feeling bad, my relationship started to hurt, of course, because my girlfriend had to deal with a guy that was not like the most nice guy when he was home. And I was having a lot of problems with myself, so I couldn't really deal with her problems and with her life, and
Yeah, you
You're
already
in a weird
needed
place.
2 of you to handle yourself.
I was
and-
already having a hard time trying to figure out what I needed to do, you know? And that's why my relationship ended as well afterwards. And that also had to mean that I had to move. I went back to my parents. So all the main pillars in my life got cut off. And that was...
I think we have to add another trophy to this, man.
Yeah, man.
We're going for like legendary ultra hard.
Exactly. And that was like the deepest point ever. As in, the only safe spot to me, like my home and my girlfriend, got cut off. For logical reasons, of course, because the relation didn't work anymore.
But just because it's logical doesn't mean it doesn't hurt us
Exactly.
like crazy.
So I went back to my parents' place, and that was... I still remember the moment when I was laying in my first children's bed, you know, like my home where I started off making music. I was
Rock
laying there.
bottom.
And yeah, exactly, rock bottom. Like, that's what it felt like. Like, I couldn't go any deeper than this. This is it, you know? I have nothing to lose anymore. The only thing I still had that could break down was my car, you know? That was the only thing I was thinking, like, okay, if this
Please don't tell me your car broke down.
No.
It survived.
Yeah, it survived, yeah. It still does. But that was a moment where I felt like, wow, this is rock bottom. And then I think I lived there for about 4 months.
Mhm.
And in those months, my parents told me, like, okay, Joey, you've been thinking about all this stuff for about a year and a half now. Maybe it's time to do something. Just get out of your head and start moving, making progress in something. And at that moment, there was like a job applying for in a factory.
Mhm.
And my parents told me, like, why are you not going to work in a factory for like 3 months? Because it was just a part-time thing for 3 months. I had to fill in for someone else. And at that moment, I felt like, yeah, why not, you know? Nothing to lose. I'm just going to do it. It was in my hometown as well for a clothing company. And the job was adding price tags to clothes all day long. That was it.
That is a very complicated job.
Exactly. Like at least 5,000 till 10,000 clothing, like pieces of clothing were delivered there every day. And I needed to tag them all together with someone else.
Out of sheer curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
how many times did you tag yourself? Because
Not
if I would have
in the
done that, I
beginning-
would go home like...
In the
you know,
beginning,
I would
actually,
have
a
price
lot,
tags everywhere.
because of your fingers, you know, you hold it back and then pop into your finger. Yeah, in the beginning a lot, but you might be surprised how fast you can learn tagging. You know, like after a week or something, like full-time job, you're getting pro at it.
I've seen a lot of schools, but I've never seen a class, you know, tagging
No,
clothing
me neither.
101.
No.
But-
But I ended up working at the factory where I was working with two other persons, which was a woman, like a mother from, I think, 55 years old,
Mhm.
and another guy, 42 years old, which was already working there for 25 years. So we actually didn't do anything else than that.
Did that create perspective for you?
Yeah, but I'll tell you afterwards. First, the woman that was working there was a mother of one of my friends from high school, or well, basisschool. Early,
Yeah. The stuff that comes after kindergarten.
Exactly. Yeah, like really young. I played football with him. And one of the first things she told me when I was entering the building, she was like, I told my son that you were going to work, and in the first reaction he was giving, like, are you sure it's Joey? He's a famous DJ, you know? Are you sure he's coming to work here?
That's gotta hurt.
And to me, exactly, that was one of the things I was like, it's like headshot.
I can imagine that being, you know, even though what you did is absolutely what you needed to do from a human point of view, I can understand from your ego.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm a really down to earth guy. I know that all the things that I've been doing in my career is crazy loco shit, and it's not normal. You know, like it's not the normal thing normal people would do in their life.
But after a while, it gets normal for you.
And that's the thing that scared me, because I was always thinking that I always knew where that line was, and that I always still knew where my place in society was. And of course, I knew that people knew me because I was a DJ, and sometimes you got shit for free because you were famous or whatsoever. I accepted that, but at the same time, I also knew that it wasn't normal. And that was one of the things I was really scared of, to not become that asshole, you know, like that famous asshole.
You get sucked into that, even though I'm personally always very happy. I did the worst thing ever in regard to getting free stuff. I made a post on Facebook because I was, you know, checking out myself, and it's like, all right, I got a sponsored pair of pants, a sponsored shoes, sponsored watch, sponsored cap. And there's just one thing I don't got. Nobody ever sponsored me socks. So, fuck, I'm
Give
just
me
gonna do
socks.
this. Lo and behold, I got sponsored socks.
Yes.
Thank you, Grip Socks.
Yeah.
But I'm now officially the biggest douchebag on the
Yeah.
planet. But
That's your platinum status.
yeah, getting sponsored boxer shorts is one thing, but socks, that is
Exactly.
next level stuff.
That's the life. Yeah.
And they're comfortable as hell.
nice.
And
I'll look it up.
yeah. But
at
one point, I also I live together with my girlfriend, and I'm like, oh yeah, this company sent me some clothing. I don't really like this shit, and she's looking at me like, dude, you got that shit for free.
Yeah.
And that reflects back on me, and then I'm thinking about myself, like, damn, I'm a bigger asshole than I thought.
Exactly, and that was the thing that scared me the most, and that's why that reaction from that mother hurt me a lot, because that was a moment when I knew, wow, it changed me. Being an artist changed me as a person.
It does. It's slippery business.
And that I've never thought about it until that moment. That was like an eye opener to me. Like, wow, okay, it changed me more than I would have thought so, because I knew, of course, that it changed things, but not my personality. But it definitely changed my personality, and that was a moment I decided, like, okay, I'm so done with this stuff. I'm going to do like normal life, like no music at all. I'm cutting it all off. I unfollowed all the people from the music industry, DJs, colleagues.
So
bookers.
that was like figuratively speaking, that one pancake too many. That was like the last drop.
Yeah, exactly. And it was already on a low level, of course, because I wasn't really I didn't make any music anymore, but like also the passion for music was pretty much gone. I didn't listen to that much music anymore, but that was the last thing, that was the thing that made me decide, like, okay, fuck this, I'm done. And I was planning to work there for 3 months and to get back in reality and level with life, level with society. And it was a really hard time for me, as in the first 1.5, 2 months, I noticed that I was thinking at least 5 to 10 times a day while I was tagging those things. I was thinking, like, why I'm not going back to DJing, because I can make this salary, which I'm earning in a month right now, I can make it in one DJ set.
Yeah, just 90 minutes and I'm done.
That thought, that's also a thought that scared me, because it was also a thought that's not normal,
Well, from a financial point of view, it is normal.
Yeah, it is, but it's not like reality. It's not like all the people in the world have to work that hard to get that amount of money.
I think the scariest part, no, I'm saying that wrong, but could it be that the scariest part for you was that you were still thinking about it as a viable option?
Yeah, exactly.
While you knew that it was what put you in that position.
Exactly, that was it. Because I knew going back to being a DJ would destroy me in every possible way. But still, it felt like being addicted to it. It felt like a drug addict that got hold of a little bit of coke again. That's what it felt like. Like I needed it.
A pumping audience just going mad at a production just made is like fucking heroin.
And that working in that factory for about eventually 6 months, because I liked it so much. Working in that factory for 6 months was like rehab to me.
So that was sort of your that factory. It might not sound that spiritual, but in a sense, it was your spiritual, Tibetan monk kind of Zen moment.
It was therapy. It was literally every day. That's why what I wanted to say. Like the other guy that was working there for 25 years, it was so great to talk with him, and I had so much great talks with him, because we were together all day long, and there was just one radio and us, so we could talk about everything all day long. And what really interested me was, how could you work at the same place, at the same day, same times, same work every day for 25 years without getting bored? Because I needed like interaction, changes all day long, And I was just really interested in his story, and I wanted to find out why, like why wouldn't you want to become a manager or to become the owner or whatsoever? Because I needed that. And he really brought things in perspective to me. Like, why would I care? Like I'm going home at 5 o'clock. Nobody's calling me. Nobody's emailing me. I'm turning on my barbecue, having the best night ever. And tomorrow I'll be back, same thing, and then I'll continue to work. And I was like, fuck.
That is certainly
That's
a
a
way to
smart
go
move.
through life.
Yeah, exactly. And at that moment, that was my choice as well. I decided to exactly live the life he had. So really, really ease down, you know, like no, my phone, I wasn't an artist anymore for about a year and a half. So nobody needed me anymore at the email. My social media was pretty dead. The only persons who called me or texted me were friends and family. So yeah, perfect, you know, like I came home, I was working till 5 o'clock, clocked out with the thing, you know.
Beep, you're done.
Exactly. Went home, chilled in the garden, had some drinks with friends. Perfect. Until after 4 months, maybe.
And then ambition strikes.
Exactly. After 4 months, like everything started to tingle, you know, like, okay, I need more than this. I want more. And then the feeling of the music industry came dribbling back a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I got the option to work at a record label at Be Yourself Music.
Oh, yeah. That's from...
Dick.
What? Dick Leijen, yeah.
Yeah. No, not Dick Leijen.
Another Dick.
Yeah.
Wait, that came out wrong. Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to be a dick.
Yeah. But then that possibility came on my way after 6 months of working in the factory, and I decided to do that for full time. So, yeah, my goal was to get like a full-time agreement because I didn't want to work for myself anymore. I made that decision in my head. And I started working there, running some labels, doing like promotional sites of the releases, marketing sites, all those stuff.
What wasn't it sort of like confrontating to be that close to the fire, but not be, you know, the focus of it?
Not at that moment, because at that moment I already decided for myself, like, I'm never going to be an artist again, you know, like, at least not touring and all those stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, it really felt okay to me. It was a bit weird because a few artists came by the office every now and then, or managers or bookers or other label owners, and I knew them from my artist life. So it was a bit weird at the beginning to see them again.
It's a different position where you're in, because when you're an artist, you know, without even realize it, people acknowledge you in a different way. They approach you in a different way.
Yeah, and that's the feeling you get, you know, like they look differently at you. But I couldn't really care at that moment. I was okay with myself.
You were just, I'm done. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I made my decision and I was happy with it. So I really couldn't care about how anyone else would think about me. So I actually had the best time there. At the beginning, I didn't think I would learn that much there because I already run my own label for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, like, you know, I've seen it all from the label side, but I still learned a lot in that year. But exactly with that year as well, like I said, my goal was to get a full-time employment
job,
there, like just a normal life, you know. And during that year, my ambition started to strike again, and I had the idea of, okay, I've had all this experience, I've had all these things that happened to me, the burnout, but also the success and the starting point and all those things. Why can't I help other artists with this? Or why wasn't there someone along the way for me who I could go to with questions or advice, or, you know, being...
I know from firsthand it's nearly impossible, except for your thing, Artist Coach, artistcoaching.nl, to find somebody to talk to.
And especially someone who's neutral in this industry.
Well, and especially somebody that knows how this industry works.
Exactly.
I had a coach at one point.
Mm-hmm. A life coach or what?
No, it was an artist coach.
A football coach.
No, me and football. I've got two. No, I'm not cut out for football, man. And the only thing I can do when I'm on the field is I'm sort of the butcher. I used to play soccer.
Like you cut legs.
Yeah, they just put me in there. It's like, you know, Vato can't play for Jack, but yo, see that guy number 12? Yeah, mess up his ankles. Right, got that.
Cool.
But
you had a coach?
Yeah, I had a coach, and she was a really nice woman, and I felt really comfortable there and everything. But because she wasn't, you know, she was used to coaching singers and people that didn't know how it is. Because right now as a DJ, you have to be a DJ, you have to be a producer, you have to follow the trends, you have to be on top of your fashion. And I think you, luckily, you missed the whole part where everything right now is just about, you know, at one point I'm seriously looking at the industry and it's like, are they booking artists or are they booking vloggers right now? Because they expect you to post like 1 million times a day on Instagram story, your Facebook, your Twitter, get this and that. And back in the days when, all of us guys, like also Hardwell and Afrojack, Sidney Samson, Quintino, Rehab, everybody started. Hey, Twitter was a thing like...
if you posted like 2 times on Twitter, you were the king, man.
Yeah, that was it. And people were like, yeah, what the fuck am I going to say?
You remember Hives?
Yeah,
wow.
That was a thing. But, right now the pressure is so ridiculously high that I think your thing, the artist coaching, needs people from now, people that know how it is to be in India, know how it is to be with a massive hangover in an airplane, know how it is
and that's exactly what I missed as well. And that's why I started this, because I was thinking, okay, what was the thing that I missed in my career? Could I have prevented this burnout if I had someone next to me who could advise me on certain moments, or who could have advised me on certain points in my career about agreements or personal
if
choices?
You could have had... If you had like sort of like this magic globe time machine thingy, and you could give yourself advice. Let's say like now JoeySuki would like undercover be able to, in a different parallel universe, be the artist coach for the past JoeySuki. In his high time days were almost going crazy. What would you have told yourself? Like what would really have helped you if a coach would have done what?
Learn how to say no and make choices for yourself.
Yeah, learning how to say no is very difficult when everything just, at some point, just flies your way.
And that's why you have to do it.
Yeah, I have no problem with saying no. I've got 2 middle fingers and they get used very often.
One of the things I always admired from you is because you were like the guy that I needed to be at that moment, like you really had your stuff figured out. At least I thought. I'm not sure if it was, but
I'm not exactly a guy with a plan.
No, but it seemed like you had your shit figured out and you had everything running and you thought through a lot of stuff. And I actually found that I found that out when we had a really good talk when we met at my home and at my studio. Because I think that was the first time we really had a deeper conversation.
We had a good. I think we talked more than we did producing.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a moment where I knew, like, okay, it isn't just the DJ with the hat on, because you were still wearing the hat at that moment.
I just look retarded.
Yeah, no, but on the stage you were like a crazy guy, and if I had to judge you on your social media, you were like this crazy artist.
Oh hell
who
yeah!
Didn't have a clue what he was doing.
If people judge me on my social media, I'm a massive coke addict. I'm do every kind of drugs.
Yeah,
I've got 4 types of HIV.
Exactly, and that's what I was seeing as well, because I knew you as a person. Then we had that talk, and then I was like, "Fuck, this is a smart guy." Like, I never could have imagined that you were thinking about all those deeper things behind your career and you made choices that led to your success. To me, it was just like you put on the hat, throw a party, and that's it. And
but that's exactly what I want people to think.
Yeah, but that's like smart, That's business minded. That's branding, actually.
Well, I don't know why I did all that stuff. It just seemed logical at the time.
Yeah, but if I have to tell you right now what it is, to me it's like a company, it's branding, it's marketing, up and top, It's
I mean, in hindsight it is, but at the time...
It's your personality as well.
Listen, I never told you why I put on the hat. Because I always admired those hats, because Jamiroquai had a hat like that, and I love Jamiroquai. Dutch rapper Styx, at one point, I think he had one of those hats on. I think I even spotted Fed Legrand. Yeah, way back with one of those hats on.
Yep, true.
And
I think he had a press pitch.
Yeah, Fedda busted.
Yeah.
So we had this party somewhere in the middle of the Netherlands, and people knew my name, and people knew my mixtapes, but they didn't knew my face. And I think at that point, most DJs were just a logo and music. There was no face involved, and I thought, like, let's put a face in there. And I have a mirror at home, and I don't look like I'm not saying I'm butt ugly, but let's be honest.
I'm not a model.
I'm never gonna be a model. I'm not no Channing Tatum or one of those masculine looking guys with like the big jaws and everything, and like the deep resonating voice. Oh, that's not me. So, and then I bought one of those hats, and then there was a Dutch song that came out, and the lyrics are "Ik ben dom, lomp en famous," which translates into "I am dumb, stupid, and famous."
Yep.
Well, the rest of the lyrics is pretty much "bitches are sucking my dick." I didn't invent the lyrics.
That's it.
That was it.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to make a statement there. So, people were all psyched up. Vato Gonzalez was going to be there, and I was already walking in the audience.
Were blowing up at that moment.
Yeah, and people were asking me, "Hey, do you know if Vato Gonzalez is here?" And I thought backstage, like, I gotta do some ridiculously stupid shit, so stupid that people will remember me. And then I thought, yeah, I made a remix of that song, and it started out with exactly those lyrics: "I am dumb, stupid, and famous. Bitches are, you know."
Mm-hmm.
So I put on the hat, and I looked in the mirror like, yes, my man, this looks properly retarded.
Yeah.
And then I turned off the music in like the worst way possible. It was like just like somebody threw up on the mixer. And all the while that was happening, I was looking at the audience like this, just staring at them. They're like there were bags of horse manure.
Yeah.
And then I took the mic in like the slowest way possible. Hi, I'm Vato. I sort of, with these ridiculously long pauses that people are like, you better come up with some good shit here. I only, stuttering for the extra dramatic effect, only got like one major problem. And then I pressed play, and then the song came in, which was the major #1 hit at the moment. And it said, "I'm dumb, stupid, and famous." And people are like, no shit, Sherlock. But people remembered that moment because what I wanted to do is create a level of annoyance that was only one tiny inch away from people massively bashing in my brains. And if you know how to get to that point and flip it into positive energy, and I made a bootleg of that song, so it went off like mad. Mm-hmm. And then, I built up like a whole lot of hate and instantly could transform the energy into happiness.
Positive, yeah.
And at that point, it was like, all right, I'm keeping this hat.
But looking back at that moment, you know what you were doing, right? It's branding and marketing.
I hadn't done before, and any manager would have told me that's suicide.
No, exactly. But at that moment, you didn't know what you were doing because it just felt like it was the right thing to do for you. But
it's pretty much what I always do. I just
exactly. But
this feels right.
If you look at it from a business side, it's just like getting yourself out there and making sure people recognize you. And of course, people can recognize your music. And I actually did the same thing, but it's not because my smart insights. It's because
you were a badass with the stickers, man. Your stickers were like everywhere.
Well, one of those things, exactly the stickers as well. That was one of the first things.
Well, it was like the round sticker with the blue,
the JoeySuki hotspot.
Yeah.
Everywhere I came, I put on a sticker JoeySuki hotspot. But all those ideas came from friends of mine because I sucked at marketing. I just wanted to make music.
That's what I think Einstein said. Creativity is just the art of covering up your sources.
Yeah.
Everything you do and everything everybody does is based on something somebody else did.
Yeah, and luckily I had friends who had powers on different places, as in one was really good at marketing, one was really good at designing.
Yeah, because your designs were like...
Yeah, and that was a friend of mine, so
I luckily... Wasn't that Alvaro?
No. Emil.
Ah.
But he also did the sneakers covers as well, the sneakers series.
Yeah.
But luckily, I had those guys around me who helped me with those kind of things. And it actually all started when I had the collaboration with Hardwell. That was the moment when one of my friends came to me and he said, like, dude, why aren't you posting anything about this collaboration? Because I was just like, yeah, it's cool. It's a cool track. It's going to be released on Revealed. Nice. And then he said, no, man, you have to squeeze the shit out of this because he's really popular and you can get bigger because of this.
Yeah, but that's sort of the problem from the age we come from. We come from an age where all the DJs were equally nerd guys in the bedroom making music. And if somebody blew up, because we were so close to each other, we didn't really notice that this guy was like massively world famous at this point. Yeah,
exactly. And at that moment, like that was the moment to me where business meets the creativity. Yeah. That was the moment it all melted together.
And then pressure comes into place.
Yeah. But that was also the moment where I got interested in marketing because I really never heard about it or read something about it or whatsoever. And after he guided me along the way, he actually ended up being my tour manager. So we spent a lot of time. He's been there from the moment of the collaboration until the end. And so he still is.
From coming up to burning down.
Yeah, exactly. Building it all up, breaking it all down.
Sorry.
No problem.
That's how you know it's a good whiskey, when it makes that floop sound. It's true, I read it online.
Oh, nice fun fact.
And everything on the internet is true.
That's true. If it's on Facebook, it's true.
Yeah, definitely.
But he helped me with it, and it really got me interested in marketing. So how is it possible that you can sell something that's bullshit? You know, like how
Have you ever watched television after 11 o'clock?
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you look at it without thinking about it, you don't even think about it, and it's just being entered into your body, and you're being completely like normal people go. They see Coca-Cola, and 5 minutes later they buy Coca-Cola because they just recently see the ad. But if you don't know what's happening in between, what the process is, why that it's happening, that's the marketing part, you know? Like, why would you put out billboards? Why would you put out Facebook advertising? And all those processes, that's also because of our brain, of course. I'm really interested in human brain.
Yes, neuroscience. Let's go there. I love that shit.
I love deep shit, man. I can
All right,
talk
commercials.
About it for hours.
The thing is,
Facebook advertisement, perfect. Like for the people who are listening right now, like young DJs.
Facebook. All right, I'm just gonna say it. Facebook just died.
Yeah, like a week ago.
Facebook is done.
Week ago. Yeah.
It's a week ago. It's official. Facebook died.
I'm really interested to see where those things are heading because they changed. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because for us, for me as an artist, and for me as a personal Facebook user, I have the maximum allowable amount of friends. That's 5,000 on Facebook. And so when I open my timeline, I expect to see a lot of messages. But right now, since the last update, like 2 weeks ago, I only see messages from the last 20 people I interacted with.
Yeah.
So I'm missing out on a ton of shit. So I have to click an extra button. For me as an artist, you know, when I used to post like a picture or a video or something where I gave something away for free, and I'm always trying to post something that is relevant to my audience, then it would get like a lot of people looking at it, a lot of engagement, and a lot of people either liking or hating it, or at least interacting. And sometimes when I thought, no, you know, I've got something big coming up, you know, I'm going to put an extra, I put down 50 or 100 euros to really boost it specifically for people within my target audience that like music and that like house and everything. So I won't annoy people with it. And I did one of those campaigns like a week or two ago, and I got like 20 likes.
Yeah,
and before I would have reached like in the thousands because of that paid campaign. So for me as an artist, having a Facebook page just sort of became irrelevant overnight. It's all about Instagram right now.
It's relevant for people who actively are going to look you up, you know, like who personally decide to type in your name and to go to your page. No, but
I actually had a lot of people that just, you know, are like, hey, Vato, are you still around? What's happening?
Yeah.
Aren't you doing Facebook anymore? And I said, like, yo, look at my page. And they were like, huh? But I follow you and I like everything you do, but I haven't seen a single thing. So these are like dedicated people that are truly interested, as I am truly interested in some other pages I like, and I'm not getting the information I really like.
I think the only safe you can do there is to do that star on the top, you know, like follow this page and put it out at first on my timeline. You can select that. If people do that, they will obviously see all your stuff. But that's like 2 steps ahead, you know? It's 2 steps. It's too much.
I think they will revert because they're getting so much slack right now. And on the other hand, Facebook was pretty much getting used as sort of a vending machine. So I do understand that people want more out of their Facebook experience than just getting spammed.
Yeah.
But for me, I've pretty much shifted all the way to Instagram, and definitely Instagram stories.
And how is your followers amount on Facebook, and how is your follower amount on Instagram?
I think I got about 20,000. For some reason, I'm stuck at 21,500 people.
On Instagram?
Yeah, for the last 2 years. Like exactly 21,500. So I don't know what's happening there.
I think the algorithm got fucked up.
Nah, there's definitely some Illuminati shit going on.
Yeah,
confirmed.
Somebody's fucking with you.
I need to contact my local Illuminati supplier. Connect me.
Yeah. And
I'll fold the dollar bill, make the signs.
And on Snapchat, how's that doing with you?
You know, once Instagram stories came up, I stopped with Snapchat because in the Netherlands, most people in my target audience, that means people that actually go to clubs and have like money to spend on beer. So like 18 plus people that go to festivals. Those are mostly on Instagram, and I've noticed that a much younger audience was on Snapchat, and I had a couple of thousand on Snapchat and much more on Instagram. But for some reason, if I now post a picture on my Instagram with 20,000 people, I get way more interactions and likes and comments than with 300,000 people on Facebook.
Yeah, I have the same.
Or 5,000 people on my personal Facebook. It's like it became pointless overnight.
Yeah, I actually had the same. Like last week, I posted something. I'm not sure. I think it was a movie about something. Oh yeah, it was actually a teaser for my new track.
Yeah.
Like 4 years back, there was like high engaging content, you know, when you posted something about your new track. It was a video, and some guy posted underneath it, Joey, where did your reach go? And I looked back at it, it's like, fuck, 180 people from the 86,000 that I have. I was like, how the hell is this possible?
Yeah, and it's not just you. I've been talking to a
lot
ton
of
of
people,
companies
yeah,
and
yeah.
a ton of other artists, and my manager has also been talking to other artists he manages. And you know, managers have these secret Illuminati managers get together, and they talk management shit.
Yeah.
And but you know, everybody is right now having this problem, and I think Facebook. At one point, they're right. The Facebook experience should be more. You know, getting to know people you actually want to know and getting the info you want to know. But now people that made a deliberate choice like, hey, I like JoeySuki or I like this guy, are not getting that. So
I think one of the main things as well with what a lot of people were struggling with, at least like the legal people, is that it's not really a smart idea when Facebook becomes... when Facebook is going to decide what you're going to see, you know, like when it comes down to news stuff, and you know, because when they are going to be in control,
the moment people start relying on their news source,
exactly,
you know, on social media, that you just took a wrong turn. That's like
and that I think that already happens, you know, like there are already a lot of people who look on Facebook and that's their belief, you know, like this is true. And I know it's
sorry,
shitty,
but
and
if you believe everything on Facebook is true, you should buy yourself a brain.
I know, but I think it's like it's right now that's what's happening, and
I love to go onto Facebook and just sometimes just savagely destroying people with the one thing they hated the most. It's this annoying little thing called facts.
Yeah,
people cannot stand facts.
They go,
I think
especially Dutch people.
Oh yeah. At least it gives us something to nag about.
Yeah.
But sometimes people think that I'm like really angry behind my computer, but people don't know that, you know, even though my personality test said I'm a total psychopath, maybe I'm sort of more like a sociopath instead. But I really enjoy those discussions. These are brilliant.
You do know that a lot of genius people are psychopaths, right?
Yeah, I also know a lot of mass murdering idiots are psychopaths,
true, yeah.
but and I'm pretty sure every cat is a psychopath as well. The way these fuckers look at you like,
one day I'll kill you.
You know, I got into a big fight with my cat last night.
Oh.
We're not seeing eye to eye right now, but we'll be okay. But
no spooning tonight.
No, he will be sleeping probably on my head. This creature has no concept of personal space whatsoever, and I'm sometimes too tired to wake up anyway. Sometimes you just use them as a pillow. I just give up.
Yeah.
But all right. I've looked up some things about burnouts and you know, other things that happen to people when getting to the life. And I already said it before the episode. It's a sort of a checklist, and I pretty much got them all. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching right now, I could like die any second here.
Yeah.
But a couple of causes, and please do correct me if I'm wrong, because you're like way more into this than me. Lack of sleep. Check. Caffeine.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure.
I drink like tons of Red Bull and coffee.
I do know that caffeine has a pretty effect on your brains, but I'm not sure. I'm guessing that
brains, caffeine. I never noticed.
Too much of anything is never good. So yeah.
I can drink like 10 of these and still sleep.
I do know that stuff's not good at all. So.
No, but you won't get fat, but it will kill your liver.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you won't get fat.
Yeah.
So DUS is advertised.
Yeah.
That's marketing for you, my friends. Also, the thing you're doing right now, overthinking.
Because overthinking kills happiness.
Yeah, because I'm not planning to be 80. People are like, when you do live like this, you drink, you smoke, you drink Red Bull, you're not going to be 80. Yeah, well, I've seen what 80 looks like.
Yep.
You know what? I'll pass.
Yeah, that's a life choice, you know?
No, that's a death choice.
Yeah, but it will change your life. As in, if you start thinking like that, like you do, like live the moment, live the now, fuck it, I'll see where I'll end, you'll have a different life.
The thing is, I am, my brain is, people always say I've got ADHD or like some borderline autism thingy or ADD or hyperactive.
All those terms, yeah.
The thing is, I have seen so many psychologists and psychiatrists in my life because, you know, in contrast to what people think, I actually do have parents. I wasn't made in a lab. I'm not a Powerpuff Girl. with sugar, spice, and everything nice, but then whiskey, caffeine, and everything wrong. But no, at one point they were like, "What the fuck is up with this kid? He's always inside his own head and everything." And I went to school. I did 2 bachelors while being high as a kite.
But that's the interesting part. How is it possible that people think you're different, weird, or whatever tag you put on it? You're like high energy, you know, but at the same time, you do masters on a university, which is impossible for other bachelors. You do bachelors, which is impossible for a lot of other kids, which are normal, as we may call it. How? You know, that all happens here.
I don't know. I just thought school was stupid. The only reason I did high school on the highest level is just to prove all these idiots wrong.
You have a good point there. School. Let's go there. Do you think school is like a good thing?
The process of education in preparing somebody for society is a good thing, but school right now is nothing more than sorting out people in 3 different levels so they can be worker bees.
Putting people in
There is
corners,
a brilliant speech by Sir Ken Robinson on these symposia, TED Talks.
TED Talks, yeah.
And I think it's one of the most viewed, and I think it's at least a decade old. And it goes about how school kills creativity.
I think I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, and this man makes such a great point, and he asks the audience, like, who gets all the brownie points? And that is English for, the same as in the Netherlands. If you did, if you were top of your class when you were young, you get a sticker. It's like, oh yeah, I get the sticker. Yeah, I'm the biggest badass. I got an A. Yeah. So who gets all the brownie points throughout from the moment you enter the educational system until you finish? And what do you become when you do everything perfect?
According to the system.
Yeah, when you do everything perfect, when you get straight A's in everything, you'll end up as a professor. The world does not need more professors right now.
We have a lot of them.
What we need right now on this planet are more people that are creative, that think in new ways of solving age-old problems like, poverty, the lack of food, the fact that human beings are fucking like bunnies and, we'll be stacking bodies on top of bodies, not because we're dead, just because it's like sardines in a can. I mean, the whole educational system tells you that the worst thing you can do is be wrong. And I have been wrong all my life.
I think being wrong helps you becoming happy, actually.
If you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original.
Exactly.
And that is also a quote by Sir Ken Robinson. I strongly suggest, if you're watching right now, check that guy. He is a professor, but he's also quite funny. It's like, am I watching a stand-up comedy show?
Or is he serious?
Yeah, but he's insanely brilliant.
But I really think that the reason why a lot of people are unhappy at this moment, like from all age groups, especially within the 20 to 55 years old age group, a lot of people are unhappy.
How many people do you know?
A lot.
That are happy?
Oh, not that much.
Where you could say, like, hands down, this not fucker there is happy.
Not that much. I think I can count them on both my hands. Definitely. And those are guys that I say, like, he's happy. You can't fuck him up in any possible way. This guy is happy in every possible. He made a choice. Every choice he made in life was because he wanted to make that choice.
Yeah,
and that's the same. That's why I was asking that about school.
You know who do that, making their own choices? Children.
Yeah,
and that's part of me. That's why I am what I am. Is because part of me is still 3. And
but I also really believe that children are being born in a default setting. Everybody's born in a default setting, like everything's open. Your mind is open. You don't. There is
no way of thinking. There is
exactly. There is no black and white.
There's no 0 point.
No, exactly. And all those little things, like what's good, what's bad, what hurts, what doesn't. All those things are being decided by your parents and your environment, and the thing where you grew up as a kid. School as well. And I think to a lot of kids, the school where they are right now has been a choice of their parents and not a choice of themselves.
I think it is mostly consciously their choice, but subconsciously, that is, I think, Drano with a little bit of ammonium.
I think it's water. In a cup.
Water or butter?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's some nice looking butter.
Mag ik nog wat water?
Ladies and gentlemen, JoeySuki is drying out.
No, but continue.
We don't have water.
Oh shit.
We got we have internet. We have no water.
Yeah.
There's whiskey though.
I have to drive.
No, ever since I was young, I already had my own way of thinking. I can still remember being in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I got into a fight.
Mhm.
And I've always been a very logical thinker. Even though I might sound erratic and like a complete lunatic, within my brain,
It sounds logical.
well, my world is like, when you sit down on the couch with your ass on the remote control and your TV goes like zap, 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 zap. That's my brain. It's like a million channels at the same time. But the difference between me and somebody with ADHD is that for them, it's chaotic. For me,
It's normal.
I can see a million channels at the same time.
Yeah.
And when somebody says tree in my head, I see every tree I've ever seen and every connection I know to the word tree. And it's like sort of, when you Google, when you type something in and Google already makes predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens in my brain all the time. So when I was young, I couldn't hang out with toddlers. I was a toddler. I was like 4, and I got into a fight because there was I was playing with a little plastic lion. It's like, "Roar, roar, lion, yay!" I was super happy. I was always playing by myself because other kids were just too stupid. That was my opinion. I was like an arrogant little shit when I was younger. And then this other toddler came like, "Hey, I've got a sheep. Now your lion is dead." Bro, I've got a lion. You've got a sheep. This is not going to fly. This lion is in his prime years,
Yeah.
He hasn't been kicked out of the pride. Even a half-dead lion could fuck up your sheep.
Yeah.
No, but your sheep is now dead.
Oh, yeah.
So this kid started touching him, so I bashed his brains in with a lion. So, I don't know. When I was younger, I was always a bit different. When I got into a fight, it was usually because I found out that I got in trouble for saying facts, but, a teacher wasn't actually up to speed with reality. And I wasn't going to back down. It was like, no, I know this
I'm
is right.
right.
I know
Yeah.
for a fact. I can prove this is right.
Yeah.
And if a teacher was like, yeah, but I'm an authority figure. And I was like, yeah, but I got middle fingers, so go have yourself. So, but I've always been like that. Also, in music industry, when I started out, was like, no, you can't do it that way. Well,
Why not?
watch me.
Yeah. That's also one of the main things that I
Fuck
have,
'em.
I have to tell a lot of people who I coach. Like, there are no rules in making music or whatsoever.
There are practically no rules in life.
No, exactly. It's just like, do your own thing. Try to do it in the best way possible.
Be
Try
nice to people. Don't be a dick. But
be nice. That's also one of the things. A lot of people come to me like, okay, how do I reach out to DJs or to labels?
first of all, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Nobody likes to hang out with a dick, Like, nobody wants to
Well,
grab a beer or grab a coffee with...
When I'm by myself in a hotel room, but
yeah, okay.
on my own.
But it's just simple life lessons, Be a nice guy.
I always tell that to when I give workshops. Rule
Yeah.
number 1, don't be a dick.
Yep.
And people are asking me, like, why are you saying this? I say, well, because apparently from my experience from the last 20 years of being an artist,
don't get it.
a lot of you missed a memo here.
Yeah. And that's just weird to me, Like, when I quitted being a DJ, I started to...
Wait. I think the previous part was brilliant. Let's go cliche,
Yeah.
wrong ways of approaching a DJ.
Wrong way.
Give me a cliche and I'll give you another one. Let's come up with cliches. All right, well, the over promo guy.
Yeah.
All right, check this out, man. I already got like max support for DJ Nobody Gives a Fuck on Nobody
Yep.
Gives a Shit FM on some radio station in country never heard of. It's going to be the best album ever. Everything in capitals with like dashes and hashtags. 1 million tags. And then you see the artwork and it looks like somebody's demented grandma just got paint for the first time. And he's talking like, yeah, I'm really going to make it. This is like the best thing. It's like this long. It's...
Yeah.
written, but it feels like it's like this American dude, even though he's probably from Finland. And then I already know it's going to be shit music
Yeah, most of the
because
time
I've never seen a post like that. And
Yeah.
the song was like,
Yep.
best music ever.
Never. No.
That never
It's true.
happened.
No, it's true.
More cliches.
Life stories.
Oh,
I'm a DJ from the Netherlands. Living
started
in
out when I
Tilburg.
was
I'm
14.
16. I'm living with my parents. Blah blah blah. And at the end, like, same size of email, like it will probably take me for about 7 minutes of my life to go through that email. End up listening
learn
to
fast
music.
reading. Just
Yeah, but in the beginning, you feel bad if you don't. So you start reading those emails, and then you find out, like, it's just a kick and a clap. Like, you're missing out on everything.
And even though I will respond to those guys with, thank you for the, excruciating long email, because I will give them some sarcasm, because you just deserve that. And I say, I'm really happy that you found a way to express yourself.
Yeah.
And perhaps being a copywriter might be better for you than a producer. But it's still somebody that put in effort, and tone it down with the whole life story and spend more time in music. But I remember the feeling of making those first tracks, and you are so fucking proud when you make.
But
the
how
first
did
things.
you do it? Like how did you reach out to? Of course, like we lived in a different period of life. Social media wasn't that much of a thing at that moment. How did you reach out to DJs? How did you make sure? Other DJs
I did everything like wrong. I did the
CDs.
I did the promo CDs.
Yeah.
I sent at least 1,000 to clubs, and I got
really?
exactly 0 responses.
Yeah, but I think that's comparable with the emails right now.
Yeah.
Like you send out 1,000, don't get anyone in return.
Yeah, but emails are a lot cheaper.
True.
And my CDs were like all nice, light scribed, and that is a technique everybody forgot, because you used to be able to burn a CD, flip it around, and then the side you normally write on, you could laser engrave that thing. It was amazingly complicated, long, and stupid, but whatever. I did it anyway. So, DJ contest. Without exception,
wow.
I lost them all.
I actually won one of them, which got me my residency, but that's it. I actually entered a Nopus Dope contest as well in Rotterdam.
Yeah, I lost that one.
I lost.
Was it at Lijnbaan? I think Quintino or Afrojack won.
No, it was, but it wasn't in a club.
It was in a T-Mobile store, or it was in a telecom shop.
be.
There was some weird thing going on there.
Was on a Thursday night or something.
I think I was there as well, or one of the later editions.
Could be.
Yeah,
I lost.
I lost miserably as well.
Yeah.
I once lost from a guy that didn't even was behind the DJ booth. He was sitting at a salon table with a cigarette in his mouth, and not even smoking, but just sagging there, having like 3 controllers. And I think I've listened to in half an hour to just straight variations of claps, and the fucker just won.
How is that even possible? Like, is it money? Is it networking? What is it?
I think at that point in my life, I wasn't able to, to see the brilliance in those claps or something. I had the stupid notion I had to, perform and
melodies and
perhaps
stuff.
entertain people.
Yeah,
but
could be.
No, so I did that. There's the way I actually did it. To get out there. I made the mixtapes, but the mixtapes, I didn't make them for other people.
No, but I think those were a big part of your success.
Dirty House Mixtape 3 was like the turning point in my career, but I have never made a mixtape for an audience. When I make a mixtape, the expectancy level of the audience, the amount of quality they want, is like 2% of what I demand of myself. Because last mixtape, I went so insanely mental in Ableton, I had to switch from a 32-bit to a 64-bit version because I completely maxed out the allowable memory of a 32-bit program. Like I officially had the platinum trophy of Ableton, and I just played it out. Game over.
And you're still doing the mixtapes.
I'm gonna make one more, and then I'm done because it takes me 2 months to make one. And it was a cool part of my life, but right now I just want to do like the easy podcasts, because we're living in a world right now, everything needs to be snack size, and everything needs to be fast. People are not going to wait a year. People want like that kind of mixtape every year.
Long form content still works, but it just really has to be valuable. And I think a good mixtape
it works, but you need to have also like the short
definitely you have to cut it up in small pieces.
Yeah, or you can have like one main thing that you do every year, and then also some bite-sized snacks in between. But the mixtape, I just made them for myself. It takes me 2 months, and that's at least 1 month of only track selection, and 1 month that the mixtape only exists as a playlist in iTunes. And I'm just listening to it, and no, that needs to go first, that last, that I need the acapella of that. And then sometimes I'm like working 3 days of 18 hours on a transition of 10 seconds.
That's crazy, man.
Because
you're calling me a perfectionist.
No, I'm just going straight up psycho on that shit. But I love that because I want to make transitions that are not possible. I have replayed entire songs. I have stalked the living daylight out of artists because I wanted an acapella for something. I've remade acapellas. I've done every dirty filter trick in the book you can imagine.
But is it still like, does it get you a lot of engagement still? Or
yeah, because
a lot of fans still like it, of course.
I like to make a mixtape polished in such a way, and that the transitions are so fast that it goes beyond the comprehensible level. So it is enjoyable, but because everything is in key and everything,
it's too perfect.
No, yeah, no, it's not too perfect because I can still change a million things if I listen back right now. But every mixtape is like the 30th full version of a mixtape. And then I listen back, write down everything that annoys me because I want nothing of the mixtape to stand out in a bad way. It just needs to be, you're in there and then it's just like one wave of happiness and everything needs to make sense. But because if there's never that annoying point, your brain is never able to grab a certain
point that...
Yes, so it's just one big mush. Yeah. And you can listen to the mush all over again and again and again and again. It has a lot of replay value. But to go for replay value in 2018 is a suicidal process.
Yeah, that's not the way. I would encourage you to do it live, like do it with video. Just record yourself playing it, but that's going to be a lot harder.
These mixtapes aren't live.
No, but if you're able to do something live, and I know you can play a good amount of DJ sets and you can play a lot of...
Well, there's one thing I'm really good at doing live. Talking. And that's what we're doing right now. And let's go a little bit back.
I almost thought I turned the conversation, But
wrong.
Shit.
But before we go, all sloppy and talking about hot dogs, about the causes for a burnout, because I had a whole list prepared, and I know, we're on a mission here.
True. We have
for
to
the listeners,
someone.
we have to at least turn
happy.
somebody.
Yeah.
So we had lack of sleep, caffeine, overthinking. Well, for me, overthinking is like, what is normal overthinking for a normal mammal is like, well, that's basically my Monday morning.
Overthinking was a big part of my failure as well, to me.
You know what helps me?
Not overthink.
No, give a dog a bone.
Give a dog bone?
Give a dog a bone.
Yeah.
If your brain is prone to overthink, throw it a good paradox.
Okay.
When I go to sleep, my brain is like, raging, because my brain is always raging. I'm sort of like the Hulk. I'm always raging. But in order to be able to sleep, and I had some problems with that in the past because my brain keeps going.
You just have to slow down your brain,
And it's not even like I'm overthinking. Like overthinking doesn't necessarily have to be anxious or nervous or
Could be
or scared. But I could think of a million ways how to make mushroom soup, and whether or not the way you cut it, whether that works with the way the fungus grows. And, just my brain would go, I could think about hot dogs in 1 second and then quantum physics the next. And that is my thing,
like
quantum
the
physics.
Of
life. 42, that's simple.
Yeah.
Actually, reproduction.
Yeah.
But it's a sort of a cause and effect thing.
Yeah.
But what helps me? Quantum physics.
Okay.
Because it's such a paradox. And in order to be able to fully grasp things like quantum physics, you cannot do that with the brain.
No, it's just completely...
It's like trying to play a Blu-ray movie on your pocket calculator.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
The hardware is not made for that.
No.
And that is what I do to sleep. I just throw in a conundrum, like a paradox, a thing you cannot figure out.
So you actually make your system crash.
It's just stuck in a loop there. And in the meantime, the rest of myself is like...
out. It's like, yay, I'm out.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And, then I'll be asleep like in 3 seconds. Actually... My MC has a whole series of movies of my past few days in China because I was literally sleeping everywhere.
Oh, wow.
I think he got at least like 20 movies. Like, and he's sleeping in the car. He's awake. Oh, no, he's asleep again. And he's now... I can sleep everywhere.
To me, overthinking... I think overthinking stopped my success as well. Because I wanted to find an explanation for every choice I needed to make, or that I already made in my career. And for some things, there just simply isn't an explanation. We human beings want to have an explanation for everything. For everything we see, everything we hear, everything we touch, we need to have an explanation. Is there something? Why do we see stars? What's behind the stars? What's the end? What's happening in between? Why am I happy now? Why am I feeling bad right now? Why do I have you as a friend? Or why am I a DJ?
I can pretty much explain all of those things.
Yeah, but that's probably your brain.
Pretty fast.
Yeah.
But the overthinking part, I don't think it's all factual information. It's a lot of time you wonder things, but then you're missing the point. What you should wonder about is why you are wondering.
Yep. True.
And I've always asked myself the question why I ask myself a question. And that sounds like total BS.
No.
But sometimes...
There's a reason why you ask yourself the question.
When you can't sleep because you think... oh shit, tomorrow I've got to travel and everything. Yeah. You should question yourself why you are questioning yourself.
Yeah.
And what always helps me in those situations is, can I do something about this problem right this very instant? No. Is there any point of me thinking about it? No. Quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
And
But that's like the main question you need to ask yourself every time. Is there something I can change about the situation right now? If you're not able to do that at a certain point. And most of the time the answer is no. So why would you even spend like 2 hours in your bed looking at the ceiling and don't know what's happening but still can sleep, you know? If you need to figure yourself out. Your brain is a really, really weird thing. And that's also a weird part about education, you know? When we go to school, we learn everything about our body. Everything. How do muscles work?
yeah,
How do
the
blood work?
mitochondria, the powerhouse of the
all
cell.
those things,
Thank
you know?
you.
I even know how plants work, but I don't know how my brains work. I don't know what the relationship, I do know now, but I didn't know like 5 years back. I didn't know the relation between my brains and my body. Like what's happening in between?
Spinal cord.
Why does this move if I want it to move? Why do I feel? Why does my body starts to shake when I'm nervous? Why do I need to throw up when I'm nervous? All those things, it all happens here, and that's the thing I really think is interesting. Because I just really started to dive into the mind about...
It's a shame they didn't teach you that at biology.
Nothing. And that's the weirdest thing. Like, this controls your body, you know? If you don't have a control over this, how can you control your body?
Now, this only controls like half your body. You know, the brain download does a whole lot of thinking on its own.
No, but it's like the subconscious and the conscious mind, you know?
Oh,
If you start to know how that works and how you can control it, or at least trying to get it, you know? Like, why do I ask myself those questions and stuff? It makes your life so much easier. And I think that's one of the most important things why people are unhappy right now. They just simply don't know how they work themselves. They don't know.
No.
They just
a lot of
know
people don't know. A lot of people are too stressed about opinions, and they need opinions to get a form of reflection so they know who they are. And we, as an artist, and I think everybody who's watching right now, as a producer thinking, I thought this was about producing, and right now we're talking about spiritual stuff. Just hang on. We'll be talking about dream catchers in a minute. But everything we did as an artist, as a DJ, as a professional music business wasn't taught at school. Everybody's watching right now is pondering whether or not I should go to an academy or get an education in school. But those educations never teach you jack donkey beep.
Nothing.
About how the hell do you survive being an artist? But I mean, I had so many points in my life that I lost the way. I mean, I was like borderline raging alcoholic. Mm-hmm. I mean, at one point it was like, it hurts when I touch here. It hurts when and my finger wasn't broken. But so I went to the doctor and I was like, yo, doctor, man, I think my liver's all fucked up. Well, that's very, have you been Googling? Yes, and I think I'm pregnant as well, but I still think it's my liver. But never Google. Google any disease, because even if you've got like, oh, my nose is running. Let's Google. Yep, I've got cancer.
Yep.
For some reason, doesn't matter what you have.
Always
if you break your arm, you Google it, you got cancer.
Yep.
But seriously, every time I Google, I end up with having cancer. And it's not like I'm making fun of cancer, but I'm making fun of Google here.
Yeah.
And so I went to the doctor. He's like, I kind of drink. Yeah, how much do you drink? I don't know, 1 or 2 bottles.
A day?
A week? No, a day. What, beer? No, vodka.
Dude.
What? Well, sometimes, I don't know, 3 on a festival day. But how do you do that with work? Oh, no. I only drink when I'm at work.
It is my work, yeah.
And she was like, what? But when you're free? Yeah. No, of course I don't drink. What, do I look that lonely? When I'm free, I don't drink. Why should I drink when I'm free? I only drink when I work.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, exactly what you said, I kind of lost track of what is normal in society.
Yep.
And she was like, are you kidding? I say, yeah. I mean, we can go to my car. Basically, it's like
like a bar,
a glass recycling plant. Because when I break, it's clink, 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 clink.
Wow.
So I'm not drinking that much anymore because I'm 34. The hangovers just got really inconvenient. But so they did a blood test and an echo, and then my doctor called me up. In a way, you don't want to hear your doctor. And it was the way she said it. Because she was stuttering. And
she didn't know how to...
No, mind you, I just got an email last week. She is retiring. So she is a well-experienced doctor.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, Mr. Franken, I don't... Yeah, well, I didn't... Yeah. Is there anything coming here? Because, kind of deciding whether or not to kill myself right now or that I'm already dead. I don't know. No, but that's not it. I ran the test actually twice, and I called the lab, but your liver is fine. That's actually better than fine. It's
Perfect.
exceptional. So for some reason, I'm still alive. I don't know how. I should be dead.
You're lucky.
And luckily, I can lose a few brain cells, I think. But we were wondering how if we're going to the causes. I think drinking like a maniac also helps. A lot of people.
I think just taking care of your body in general,
Vitamins.
like making sure your health. I think health in general, like being
just
healthy.
health. Eat fruit.
Exactly.
Eat the right fruit.
Like your
Orange
parents
juice
told
is
you,
not a fruit.
Eat vitamins. Eat vegetables. Eat fruits. Take a lot of water. Like a lot of moist, or how do you call it? Yeah.
By the way,
moist.
tomatoes are a fruit.
Yeah.
Like the old
Really?
saying goes, what was it? Being smart is knowing tomato is a fruit. Being wise is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad.
Wow.
But
Deep knowledge here. Well, but all those things, like vegetables that contain a lot of water, like tomato, but it's a fruit.
and also because I had this problem last year because I'm drinking like ridiculous amounts of caffeine, and for some reason I'm able to handle this. And also I like dairy products.
Dairy
Oh,
products.
I'm Dutch. I love my glass of milk.
Yeah, me too, man.
Some
Cheese.
yogurt and cheese. I'm a very cheese-minded person.
Me too.
That's
I
the
love
first thing
those
I eat
cheese
when I come
platters.
back. Because, sorry, especially the Americans,
No, man. Those
you people
cheddar
can't make
and
cheese.
stuff.
That is not cheese, that is plastic.
Yeah, that's plastic. But you know what I always loved? When you fly back with KLM and you get like those little parts of cheese in the plane.
A decent... no, but
That's the life.
But that are not like the good piece. Because, everybody knows the outside that touches the plastic becomes the plastic. Sort of like, this Bruce Lee thing.
Yeah.
When cheese touches plastic, it becomes the plastic. But always chop off the end. But you need like the middle of the block. That is
Yeah.
perfect.
Perfect.
But
Okay, but
so
yeah.
I noticed that I didn't know that because I was tired all the time. So I was drinking way more caffeine, and I was still tired, and I wasn't sleeping that well. And I was like, oh, what the hell is going on? Maybe I have a iron deficiency or something. So I started eating spinach and herring and everything that's good red meat, and a lot of iron in my body. But somebody didn't send me the memo that the moment you drink caffeine or something with calcium in it, like milk, and you eat like a nice juicy steak, red in the middle, it's not only bleeding, it's also looking back at you and, mirroring. But what happens is actually the iron in the meat, and the same goes for spinach, will bond on a chemical level with the calcium or with the caffeine already in your stomach. So by the time your body
You're too
can
late.
absorb it, it's already bonded, so your body cannot... and I think... also, when you look at, you've got these special syrups, Cliche, that are for people with an iron deficiency. And it
Okay.
also says on the packaging, don't drink milk or caffeine an hour before or after. So it's not something...
I do heard of those things that when you combine different kinds of food in your stomach, as in when you eat like certain like meals which contains high protein meat or with certain vegetables, it starts to like combust kind of in your
If something like that would happen, I would have exploded a long time ago. Because I'm basically a walking garbage can. I'll eat anything at any time.
Yeah, me too. But in the
But-
end, it's
but-
just important to know that your body is like a car, like when you throw in the wrong gasoline, it starts working, and if it stops working. And
The big problem is, a lot of people don't realize this.
No.
Oh, before I forget about the whole caffeine iron thing, I didn't realize that was going on, and I ended up with a severe iron deficiency.
Wow.
And then I finally realized, hey, wait, that's chemically bonding. So I stopped eating that together, and within 3 days, I was Superman again. But a lot of people, things like these are caused, and especially like you. You were living at home, and then you start living with your girlfriend. And that's kind of the route a lot of young producers are going right now.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you're blowing up. Unbeknownst that in reality, you have left the safety and the flock and mom's meals.
Yep.
And mom knows damn well how to get some vegetables in you.
Yep.
And make you eat and sleep properly, because otherwise, like,
You have to get out, man.
It doesn't matter how relaxed your parents are. If you're still up and raving at 9 o'clock in the morning, you'll get a look.
Yeah.
So, and then all of a sudden you get into that crazy life. And I've noticed it with a lot of guys I know that are not artists, but they just, start living on their own.
Yeah.
They immediately got fat.
Yeah.
Not just simply because, they're not used to making their own food, and they kind of figure out that, the food that they ate, that their moms make, actually takes time to prepare.
Yeah. And it's a little bit more expensive than you would have thought.
You go for the microwave meal, just eat .nl, that kind of stuff.
Luckily, that didn't happen to me, but that's just because I really like cooking and I like to live healthy.
Yeah, but whether or not you order online or you are in a foreign country and you're eating at a hotel, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, or even when you go out for dinner with your broker, you still end up having 3, 4, 7 courses, and like it's not really all that healthy.
No,
like if you go,
it's delicious though. But
if you go to a Michelin star restaurant, you don't get like all those, all the vegetables you do get are like this big. It's not that healthy actually. It's a lot of sauce, which isn't healthy at all. But it's delicious.
And I don't like going to those restaurants. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a culinary experience, and I love like having these 15 courses, and then I can appreciate every.
I really love it. You can put me there any day of the week.
Oh,
like a wine, complimentary wine.
Fuck that. You know what? For me, just take me to the ghetto, give me some soul food.
Yeah, but I like that as well. Like and some tacos and stuff, wraps, all those kind of things.
I love eating from a plastic cup and from a plastic plate.
Burgers.
No, I'm not a burger fan. I like soul food. I like food that was prepared with love and like age-old recipes. Suriname food. I always get fat when I'm in Suriname.
I actually like Asian food a lot, like Thai, Japanese, Chinese.
And Thai is relatively healthy.
Yeah, it's a lot of vegetables.
Yep, a lot of garlic.
Yeah, I've been in. I had to play in South Korea as well. I love that, and especially the food as well.
I've heard about. I don't know how this dish is called. Kimchi.
Kimchi, yeah, but it's a vegetable, right? Kimchi.
Yeah, but it is a sort of like a fermented sort of stuff. I don't know. I saw this documentary online. No, it was actually there was something useful on television for a change, and there's a lot of cooking programs that eat abroad, and it's very interesting how they make that. But I don't know how it tastes, so I'm curious whether or not you ate it.
If I have the right one in front of me right now, it's like the white stuff.
Yeah, sort of cabbagey white.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah,
it tastes like.
Not really a specific kind of taste. It tastes like.
That is so helpful.
Yeah, but it tastes like the earth, like really earthy taste.
Right, that is more specific.
Cabbage and stuff.
All right, so the good food.
Yeah.
Then there's the inevitable part of
alcohol
and drugs.
Yeah, I've never done drugs. I did smoke a joint for like 3 times, but that was.
Oh my God! Somebody called the police. He smoked a joint.
Yeah, but that was even before I was DJing. I was 16 years old, high school.
They call it high school for a reason.
Didn't you see the sign? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Method Man and Redman. Study high, get high grades. That'll work for me.
Well, I tried it for like 2-3 times. I think it was 3 times, and didn't like it at all. So I just never took any of it anymore again, and especially the hard drugs. Never done it.
No, I've never done hard drugs. I love the way from weed that I start getting really suspicious of my own paranoia. So,
but that's what I'm afraid of. I had those panic attacks, and I have been in that deep part of my mind, and I'm really afraid that when I take some of those drugs, I instantly go back in it and started to never come out of it.
Yeah, that sounds like.
How's that drug called? It's really
DMT.
No, it's really popular right now. Fuck. No, it's really hard. No.
Ecstasy.
No, I've heard of it.
It's a spiritual drug.
Yeah,
that's DMT, dimethyltryptamine.
Ayahuasca.
Yes, and what's in there is DMT.
Oh, okay.
That's the active ingredient.
Ayahuasca is the thing that I was talking about, and that shit sounds crazy to me. Like, if I'm going to try it, of course, it might have helped a lot of people, but I'm really scared. I'm
not going to do that.
I'm going to end up really,
there.
really deep.
No, the thing is, my mind is already like a fucking circus. So
yeah, but if I'm gonna take it, I'm just really scared that I'm gonna end up in this part of my brain where I'm never gonna leave again. Like
there are definitely some parts in my brain that have a lock on them, and I sort of know what's behind them, and I sort of know that lock is there for a very good reason.
Yeah, and you need to keep it on there as long as.
And
possible.
I like to keep the lid on those things.
Exactly.
They are there for a good reason. I had a couple of psychiatrists that tried to figure out what was behind door number 2.
Didn't work that well.
No, I actually made one of my psychologists cry. That was funny. I love talking to psychologists, not psychiatrists. Those are like the advanced level. You can fuck up those people.
You need to reverse engineer them. That's so nice to
man,
do.
they cannot handle very well placed sarcasm. And they have a certain pattern of expectations, and also, not everybody is university trained, and not everybody is cut out to be having that kind of a job. So the low level guys, I love playing with those people. It's brilliant because, when you lead them on, like, he's really having an epiphany right now, and I start like, really, it's really hard for me. I love farting in the bathtub. Oh, and then just stare at them. I like to watch my cats die. And especially with the shake of your hand, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And they'll believe anything you do because they're always analyzing. And there is not one part of their training, I guess,
analyzing,
that is preparing them mentally for somebody that really enjoys the shit out of fucking with these people.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
I can imagine.
It's I can't feel sorry for a psychologist for some reason. I mean, a psychologist should be able to completely beat me around the bush any way they want.
Yeah,
they should be able to break me like this.
Yeah.
So if they can't, it's up to them. But
so don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. I've never done drugs. Never done hard drugs because I'm afraid of shit. Because I'm already hyper. It's like, I think if I would do ecstasy, it's like, let's take this lamp for example. It's probably made for like 40 watts.
Yeah.
I'm like this light bulb. Not too bright, but still shining. But if I would take drugs, it would be like putting 2,000 watts on.
It's gonna explode.
Yeah. Or I'm just gonna go.
Stroke.
Just really slow. But I'm not curious to find out. And the main reason why I don't do it is not because I'm afraid I might die. I might get a little heart attack. But what's a heart attack? You got like triple bypasses right now. They got crazy. They can put a cow heart in me or pig heart.
You'll survive.
Yeah, but now I'm mostly I'm afraid I might like it.
Yeah, but I can totally imagine. I
mean I know what happened with caffeine, booze, and nicotine.
Yeah.
Oh, and DJing and artist life and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Adrenaline.
Attention.
No,
Is that something you're addicted to? Like that's one of the things I also noticed with
in
myself.
limited quantities. I love it, but I need like at least 70% of my time. I need to be away from people. Well,
I noticed that when I went to like private parties, my family parties, friends parties. If I entered like one of those parties, all the eyes shifted to me, and all the conversation stopped and started asking me like, "Hey, how has it been in Korea? How has it been in America? How is this going? How do you know this guy? Or how is it to work with this guy?" Or they all started talking about me. It was all about me, even in my private life. And that was one of the things I really hated as well. Because, especially when I'm with my friends or with my family, I don't want to talk about that stuff. Because when you're on tour, like I mentioned before, the standard talk, it's all about those things. So
once you train your family, there's always this new boyfriend of a niece or something that's going to be all up in your ass.
Exactly.
And he means very well, obviously.
Oh, of course, yeah. And I get it, but it's not something...
You're like, dude, I'm in my safe zone.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you enter a birthday of your friend and the parents of your friend are there, the first things they are going to ask you is that the one thing they know about you is that things are going well and you're a traveling DJ.
But I've learned to when I'm in such a situation, they're like, "Hey, Vato, what's up? Yo, I'm good, man. But right now I'm off, man. You can just call me Björn. By the way, what kind of job do you do?
Yeah.
So you're a management assistant. All right. So management assistant, what up? Hey, why do you call me management assistant? Yeah, why do you call me Vato?
Yeah.
So, I'm just Björn. Nice to meet you. We're all good, but...
I did the same thing. I always
flip the script.
I always ask them to their job. And then that's always also one of those weird things I never got until now. Like, if you ask someone, like, what do you do? First they ask you, like, hey, you're a DJ, how's that life? You say, like, no.
Have you ever just avoided the whole subject? Hey, what do you do? Yeah, I work in...
Once, I think.
There is I don't know if there's an English word, but in Dutch it's horeca. It's like in the Netherlands, we have this word for working at a hotel, restaurant, or a
Servicing
cafe
people
bar.
or,
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the service industry or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is actually a bad way to say escort service, but either way,
There's a lot of people.
I always, in entertainment industry, it sounds too.
No, that's too Hollywood.
It's too Hollywood because in the Netherlands, that word is mostly used for people that work
TV.
behind a bar or
those.
horeca.
Yeah.
So, but I usually say, I work in that that industry. Make it sound uninteresting because sometimes you just want to be
just want to be nobody.
No, I just want to have a beer and a piece of cheese
Yeah.
and just chill out.
And I actually still have it. That's also something that I have. Like if someone asks me. Okay, here's an example. I moved to a new place.
Yeah,
I didn't know my neighbors. No one of them.
that's always fun.
That's always fun.
I still don't know my neighbors. But
Until about a week and a half after I lived there, I saw my neighbor for the first time. Shake his hand. And we started talking. He's like, are you still playing, by the way? And I was thinking, and I was thinking, I didn't tell him I was playing. And then I got back and asked my girlfriend, like, did you have a talk with him or did you talk about my past? I said, no. I said, what the fuck? The guy's been fucking Googling me, like.
Hey, if somebody knew was gonna live next to me and I know his name, I will Google the daylight out of him.
Yeah, but those are the things that it doesn't scare me, but it's weird, like people already have set up their opinion about you or they already have some kind of picture in their head without even spoken to you. And it's still happening right now, It's not something that has been 5 years. It still happens right now without me being a DJ for about 3 years. So it haunts you, actually. It sounds like
How do you deal with that? Because I can imagine that kind of sucks.
Well, right now I don't really care because, it's a part of me. It's my history. I know I'm actually pretty proud that I've built that. I'm still pretty young.
You should, man.
Yeah, and I'm pretty young, and I've already had a career. Like most people have that when they're 50, and then they do a career change. I already did one when I was 26, so it's something I'm proud of. But at the same time, also something that isn't that good at any time.
Even though you still try to reintegrate into normal life, you are still, in some ways, not normal because of the experience you had.
Yeah, and of course, I can totally, I get it, like social media, everything on the internet stays there for the rest of your life. And then, like I said, it's not something I'm ashamed of, but it's something that I don't really want to be, how do you say it in English? I don't want to be compared with every day because I literally changed, My personality
That was a
changed.
lifetime ago.
Yeah, I changed as a person and my life was not comparable with what it is right now, Like now I have
and it's not like you used to be a criminal, but now you got out and bettered your life. You did something really positive.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for you because,
Exactly.
for reasons. And but people, I think they mean it in a positive way.
Of course, and that's why I don't blame them.
They just don't know, but...
exactly, and that's why I don't blame them, but it's just... It still hunts me. It still follows me in my new life, and it's just weird to see.
To what extent have you had any problems with people thinking like, "Yo, Joey, just suck it up, man"?
A lot,
dude. Those really insensitive asshole reactions of people that think anything that happens in your brain is complete bullshit.
You're living your life. You're earning money, traveling the world. People pay a lot of money for you to play 1.5 hours. What are you thinking? All those things.
Well, that's kind of the problem. I'm not thinking. I'm breaking down here.
But those kind of things, it's just that's the problem with a lot of people. Like that's not what makes me happy. Of course, it's a dream life for someone else, but it's not the dream life for me. And everyone has his own happiness spot. Like what does make you happy? To me, being happy is what I have right now. I can honestly say that I'm 100% happy right now. I have
nice.
I've recently bought a house. My girlfriend is expecting.
And you're going to be a father?
Yeah, man, in 2 months,
wow.
actually. I have a regular job. I still work in the music industry, but I have a regular job. I have regular times I go to the office. My office is 10 minutes away on the bike from my home. I live in Tilburg, which isn't the biggest city on earth, but still all my friends are there. My family is there. I do what I love to do, I have time to work out. I have time to be with my friends, but also go to parties.
So you're like having the normal life you actually wanted.
Exactly, yeah.
So basically, the artist life sort of happened for you.
Yeah, and it actually really felt to me like I woke up 10 years after being entered the train 10 years ago, but stepped out of it and were like, whoa. what happened.
But if you had to do it all over again, would you do it?
Yep, but small side note.
You would
If-
learn to say no.
No. Yeah, of course, that as well.
No,
Yeah.
brilliant reaction.
But small side note, I would do it all over again, but only if I was at that age, if I was that young. Because if I needed to do it right now, when
Mhm.
I'm coming 30 this year, I wouldn't do it. Because there's too much, in my opinion at least, there's too much happening in this period of my life, like big life choices, children, buying a house, becoming a family, all those things, which are going to be ruined, or at least hard to maintain when you continue doing this job. You know, when you're traveling that much, when you're always in the hotspot, when you have fans, girlfriends as well. My girlfriend, you have to, if you're a DJ, your girlfriend has to be up for the job as well.
Oh yeah, that's what a lot of people forget, man. I fucked
Yeah.
up so many relationships because of that.
And those are the
Wow.
those are the things you don't think about, but it's just there. It's
Let's
part
talk
of the
about
job.
that.
Yeah.
Because you know, we all made the mistake. The gold digger girlfriend, and oh yeah, you know, the girlfriend that likes you because you're a DJ. And she will
yeah.
never say you. No,
Yeah.
I like you because you're a DJ, but that's the same thing that girls always say. Yeah, I normally don't do this.
Right.
Yeah, well, me neither. Right.
It's not his money.
Yeah, no, I've had that so many times. No, but I normally don't do this. Right. Well, from what I see there, it happens quite often. But no. No, girls got to do what they got to do, man. It's not like I'm slut-shaming anybody. I'm just shaming people that talk bullshit. So that never works out, because I wanted a girlfriend that, you know, found it quite interesting that I was a DJ and everything. Is like, oh my God, DJ, yes, and of course you make music. Could you turn down the music at 4 a.m.? No, bitch, I'm a DJ. Yes, but listen, I made music before you and I will make music after you. It's very
Yeah.
simple. But, you know, music was my first love and
It always will be.
it will be my last. And
Yeah.
you, my dear, will not be around to see it. So that never works.
Mhm.
And there's also a lot of girls that say they can handle it. But you had your fair share
but
of
they
troubles.
underestimate it, you know, and I underestimated it as well, because you just never know where things may end for you. You never
If
know.
you get that call like, hey, Joey, man, you can do the
Exactly.
Hardwell support tour for like you're 1 month in Australia. You get like a
Yep.
massive fat check and you'll be playing every day
Yep.
for 60,000 people. You'll be like, bye,
I'm
bitch.
going. Yeah, I'm going. That's it. And this is what I've been working for in the past 5 years or 6 years. And if that moment comes, of course, in the first time, your girlfriend will tell you you deserved it and let's go and let's do this.
Yeah, but
But after the 30th time, she will probably be like, "Why can't you come to me to this party or to that party, or it's Christmas?
Why are you not
do
there
you
with
leave?
Christmas?
Yeah, why do you leave with Christmas? Why can't you be here? Or why?
Because
do you...
they pay double at Christmas.
Exactly, it's like prime time for us, you know, like New Year's Eve, Christmas. It's like,
But it's no different, and I think a lot of girls and you know it can be exactly the same for guys. If your girlfriend is DJ or if your friend is DJ, if you're in a relation with a DJ, let's just keep it broad. They don't realize that being a DJ from a work perspective isn't that much different from somebody that works the irregular shifts and night shifts
No,
and works on
definitely
a basis where they get a call and they have to
No.
go. If you work for the fire department,
You have
it
to
can
go.
be Christmas and Easter in one day, but if that building is on fire, you gotta
have
go.
to go. Yeah,
And it's the same for people working in bars and in clubs. I mean, somebody's got to pour drinks at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And, they face the same problems as well. And a lot of people aren't flexible enough to handle a partner where they have no way of knowing whether that person will be awake or asleep or in the country next Tuesday.
yeah.
And
It's a really
a lot of people
diverse-
underestimate that.
Yeah, and especially one of the things that they underestimate as well is the attention you get.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say, of course, it's not a secret. DJs get a lot of messages from girls because you're like,
Hey,
yeah,
that-
it's just true. I'm not gonna deny it or whatsoever. I had my fair share amount of messages as well.
Yeah.
But the difference is, I didn't ask for those messages. I just received them. That's
Exactly.
it. And if my girlfriend saw
I
my
think
inbox,
women are. Sorry, I'm just gonna go mad here. Women are fucking hypocrites when it comes down to us getting messages. This is such bullshit.
you don't ask for it, you know.
No,
you
no,
just
but
get
the thing
them.
is, girls get messages all the time.
Yep.
If you're a hot girl, if you look great,
Yeah.
and especially if you do like all the duck faces, look at my brand new thing in the background nobody noticed, you know, that kind of picture. They get like up into dick pics, like all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my fair share of relationships with girls and everything that sometimes showed me like, oh, you gotta watch what this guy just sent me, and they would just let me browse their inbox for just like, you gotta see this, and we were just had like giggles about this guy's fucking desperate. Yeah, no, we should say that we had fun, but I'm getting all worked up here. But women are such hypocrites
Yeah.
about men, because as soon as you're a DJ and you get a lot of attention, the amount of attention a DJ gets does not even get close to what. And I'm not even talking about like a 10 hot. I'm talking about 8.5 hot.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 8.5 looking through the bottle, a 9.
Yeah.
They get like way more messages than us. And even though I've been, you know, I did my fair share of nasty shit. Not even I'm in a very stable relationship right now, and I'm really happy. But not even at my nastiest time in my life, I didn't get as much messages as an 8.5 gets on a daily basis. So the thing is, girls are fucking hypocrite. They're just jealous we get the same kind of attention.
Yeah, maybe that is, yeah.
And girls don't jump on every guy they get a message from. Neither do we.
No, but that's the thing. They think
Most
you
of the time.
instantly sleep with every single one of them. And
They don't realize we don't sleep with them. We fuck them. No.
That's like a stereotype right there.
No.
But yeah, it's just really hard for a girl to understand that. And I get it, you know, you're away from home. Maybe after 2 weeks you start missing each other a lot. And then they see you on a picture with a girl. And that girl's on not only one picture, but 3 pictures with you. Then they start putting in the dots. And it's just your brain who wants to have an answer for it, you know? And they start filling in the dots themselves, creating a story for themselves to make it valid or not making it valid. Anyway, it's not the truth. And you end up with having a shit story about what not happened. And you have to explain yourself while you're on tour, on Skype.
Yeah, well, I just stopped doing that.
I can totally imagine.
I
But
just went like, just point blank onto my Skype, basically. Like, all right, this is what's up. Nothing happened, and the story. That's your explanation?
Yeah.
I cannot explain about something that didn't happen. It's like, why is the moon suddenly purple? Well, it isn't. End of story. You know, if somebody states something that isn't true, you should just stop explaining. And otherwise, if you actually are doing nasty bits, well, you done fucked up because you found out. But, no.
Wow, did you see about the Chainsmokers?
No, what happened?
Wow, Chainsmokers. There was a movie from one of the guys which he cheated on his girlfriend, but he was caught on a camera. I think
wow.
Yeah, that's.
No, that is just amateurism.
Yeah.
That is not professional pimping. Come on.
But his girlfriend posted it online. That's just.
That is good payback. Good for her. I
That's
mean, it's
good
fucked up for her, but hey.
That's good marketing.
That's, yeah, for them, it's brilliant marketing. But
But it's, you know.
actually, I posted the exact opposite online on my Instagram story last Friday night. Because for some reason, some people of the party came to us to the hotel, and the promoter was also sleeping at the hotel. So I thought they're going to crash his hotel room or wherever. They knew this guy. And we're all on the same floor. You know, we usually have rooms next together because the booking was made and at the same time. So usually get like adjacent rooms or some. That's quite annoying if you hear the neighbors banging. By the way, especially if you know, it's like, oh man,
Why?
I got a tour with this promoter for another week. Oh, he makes really awkward noises. But you know, I just swiped open my hotel room. I was like, hey guys, I'm out here. I'm gonna sleep. And this girl walks just into my hotel room, and I stared at her like, get the fuck out. This is not happening. How many languages do you speak? 5. All right, so in 5 languages, fuck off.
Yeah.
No, I'm like loyal up to aggression. I don't, this is the first time in my life I'm in a relationship with, right now, anywhere where, I don't care where I'm in the world, my WhatsApp desktop is, I think, always open on my computer. I haven't got
stay in
passwords
contact.
on anything. And you know, that is a problem of cheating.
Yeah.
Cheating, if you do it right, and in previous relationships, I took it like to next level shit. But you know, I can, you know,
Like fake accounts, everything.
No, you know, I can only say this after 11, and it's no way 11, and we'll be off air then. But no, it takes so much time. You have to adapt like 3 personalities.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I seriously, do, you know, one of
And your home is no longer home.
Sometimes you hear those stories of men who have two
Two
different families. How?
I think you just gotta love pain then. You really gotta love pain.
I think you're just mentally fucked up. How it's not possible. How do you maintain 2 families without those 2 families knowing from each other?
I have a hard time maintaining a girlfriend and a cat. Pretty much.
Make my point.
All my houseplants died.
Yeah. Imagine having 2 families.
Wow. Damn, that's just crazy. So
Yeah.
I think that's also a big problem. A lot of DJs underestimate, and relationships
Yep.
can mess up so many people.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of people that had a burnout or something like Hardwell, Blaster Jack, Nico Romero, Dwayne, Avicii. Well, I'm not really sure whether that was a burnout or
I think it was a drinking
burnout,
problem.
but you know. And I know from some of those guys, I've seen some of them in positions where their relationship completely messed them up.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond those
Yeah, me
guys,
too.
I had to scoop up a ton of really big DJs like, all right, come here, buddy.
Yeah.
We're going to manhandle this.
Yeah.
And
True.
sometimes girls can make guys so crazy. And, you know, for some reason, we are expected as artists, or at least regarded or seen, as like, we are able to handle all this shit.
No, but we're human as well, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
but you know that. I know that.
Yeah,
But
the
a
normal
lot
audience
of a
doesn't.
lot of producers, and I think that's important. I've talked to so many young producers that struggle with my parents are not supporting me, or it's against, I don't know, sometimes it's against religious views, or it's against, you know, their family doesn't approve of you know, the whole partying thing in general. Or girlfriends that liked the whole idea when he was just cute playing in the basement, but now all of a sudden he is like
Now
super...
he's this big famous guy, yeah.
And people holding them back. And
yeah.
a lot of those guys, I talk with a lot of those people, and they think they are alone. And that's why I really like you being here, because we have been bitching about problems the entire episode.
Like,
and there's a point to this, dear people. And that's why I really wanted you here, and Dancefair really wanted you here. And I was, you know, when they told me about, JoeySuki is coming, and I was really happy. It's like, oh wow, this is cool. This is something different, and people need to know you're not alone. It's everybody deals with all those points, and
it's just being a human, you know. And of course, you're a DJ and you have a different life, but in the end, we're all human. We have feelings.
I think a lot of new producers have no idea the kind of stuff DJs talk about when the cameras are off.
Pretty lame, actually, what we all talk about.
It's there's this
pretty sad, actually.
WhatsApp group, and they're like all the AAA artists of the Netherlands are in there, like Hardwell, Garrix, Party Squad, Dark Raver, a couple of rappers are in there, everybody's in there. So and that's like basically just Gossip Girl, pretty much. But when I talk with a lot of guys in private, it's usually about relationship stuff.
Yep.
About how bad they deal with the jet lags.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes, and that was the most brilliant thing. Producer of Child's Play, Keanu once told me. I guess it was Keanu. If it wasn't, sorry, but I thought it was you. And it was funny as hell when you said it, and you were so right. And at one point, he just said, "I just want to go home and lay on the floor. I'm just gonna lay on the floor for a whole day, just nothing,
just lay there."
And I actually did it one day. I just came home and I thought of Keanu. And I thought, you know, he's a cool guy. He's onto something. And just got home, put down my bag, and I lay on the floor.
And why would you want to do that? Like, was there a reason? Because you was just tired.
I was just tired, hungover, jet lagged, toured out.
Because to me, that's a sign.
There's nothing more simple than laying on the floor. I was just, this is the best floor ever.
Yeah, but that to me, that's a sign of you went 2 steps too far. You know, like you've asked too much of yourself, of your body, of your mind, of everything you can ask of yourself, and that's one of the things that lead to a burnout as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I found myself as well. Like I was trying to figure out how I could get rest in my life, and that's also a moment where you should think about the fact, why do I need rest in my life? Like, why do I need this as
Oh,
often.
I did the officially, and I'm not using this to describe people that love. How can you say this correctly in 2018?
Politically correct.
People who love other people that were born with the same reproductive appendages or insides as themselves.
I lost you.
Right, I'm talking about the LGBTQ
Okay.
and A to Z community, whatever. No, but I did what is perceived as the gayest shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking, it's just figure of speech. I actually tried to meditate.
That's not that weird, right?
That is the hardest stuff I ever did.
Yeah, but especially for you because your brain is on constant fire.
I felt like I was in the middle of a baseball game
Yeah.
with a baseball bat, and I was just kicking out every thought that came. It's like, I should, no.
Yeah.
And then I started imagining whether there was a wooden baseball bat or an element. No. I'm not wearing a helmet. No. Who am I? So,
It is really hard, but I'm not doing it on a daily basis, but I do it every now and then.
I think everybody should try it just so you can figure out that is pretty much the hardest stuff you'll ever do. Because
It's the hardest
you'll
stuff?
realize you have no control over
Exactly.
the thing you use all day. While if you train, you actually do have control.
And that's the thing I mean with having control over your mind, Like the moment you know that you're in charge of your own mind, and the moment you know that you are making the decision you make yourself. So it's really a decision you make yourself and not your subconscious or whatever happens in your brain. You made it yourself. You've thought about it. It's like a clear decision. You're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it.
all pretty much depends on whether or not the Heisenberg uncertainty principle works out or not. But
But to me, that really helped. As in, when I decided to quit DJing and I wanted to change my life, I wanted to do something else. I wanted to become someone else. You go into a process of making a lot of decisions. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna do this? Is this the right moment? Is this the best place? All those decisions, and that process also contains making mistakes.
hell yeah.
And that's also why I mentioned working in a factory, working at Be Yourself. At first, I thought working at Be Yourself was my best move at that moment because I wanted full-time employment. But it ended to be a new path to artist coaching. But I could have never imagined that this would have been my path 2 years ago.
You always, if you look in hindsight, and everybody's kept in hindsight and
Yep.
would have, could have, should have, the whole batch.
Yeah.
You always gotta realize that when you make a decision with the best knowledge you have at that point in
At
time,
that
and it's so
particular
easy to say,
moment.
like,
Yeah.
perhaps I should not have said what I said 5 minutes ago, with the knowledge I have now. But I didn't have that knowledge back then.
Exactly.
And even if I did have the knowledge, I apparently didn't care enough.
Yeah.
But
I really believe in the doing, as in you have to try as much things as possible, and you will feel instantly if you like something, yes or no. And your body and your mind will tell you if you're made for the job or if you're made for this relationship or if you're made for whatever you're doing. It will instantly tell you. That's your gut feeling.
yeah, exactly.
That's your gut feeling will tell you you're made for this.
If you want to make a decision, and there's a lot of, when we're going back at neuroscience right now, there has been a lot of research about the processing capability of like your conscious mind of what you perceive you are and your vision of reality
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and like the back of your mind.
Your subconscious.
Yeah, and it turns out that you have like this really shitty PlayStation 1 in the front and like a complete server park in the back.
Yep.
Because the amount of information you can process consciously is
It's crazy.
absolutely nothing compared to what you can do unconsciously. So usually I just put all the facts in my head, all the facts and figures, and then I'm just gonna do absolutely nothing about it.
That just
Whether
process it.
sleep or just chill out with my cat, go longboarding. I have this, I have an electric longboard. It's completely
Nice.
illegal and suicidal, but I love it.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
like snowboarding
that's
on
nice.
asphalt.
Actually, when a lot of people always say like the best ideas come up with me when I'm working out, or the best ideas come up with me
Toilet,
when
shower,
exactly, and that's because you have
elevator.
you take all those facts and stuff into your mind. You start thinking about it.
Just throw them in the back, and
it
your
goes into
brain.
your subconscious, and it will continue there. But you're just not aware of the fact that it continues processing it and thinking about it. And then 2 days, 1 hour, 2 minutes later, you're doing completely nothing, and suddenly, bing, That's it.
You just get, and that's your gut feeling.
And that's because you put your body into rest and you give everything a rest, and that's the moment where your ID comes up.
Not only from sleeping will you figure out stuff. It's also like doing not what you're
Some
supposed to
people
do.
have it in dreams as well.
Oh no. My dreams are not good.
No, but it's really
Not good.
personal. Some people have only really scary dreams. Some people.
No. My dreams are fucked up. Listen.
Yeah, but that's also
I gotta tell you this. I know there is a part of my brain that day in, day out tests whatever I perceive and see and hear and feel, whether or that might be true or not. If I right now see pink elephants flying around, that's a pretty clear indication this whiskey is not all I thought it would be. Because, when you see stuff that cannot happen, there is a part of your brain that is like this skeptical dude like, nah, bro, that ain't true, man. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
And then you're like, sometimes was there somebody behind me?
Yeah.
And then there's that dude behind
But
me
you're
in
making
your
up
brain like, nah, man, that's bullshit.
Yeah, but you're making up stories for yourself. Like, why are people afraid in the dark? Because for instance, everyone who walks into a dark basement is partly scared. Now, why is that?
Oh, I'm not partly scared. I'm
Like
terrified.
shitload scared. Yeah, but why is that? Like, there's something in your brain that is telling you
Because I'm stupid enough
you're
to fall
going
down
in-
and people always die in basements.
you're going into danger zone.
I saw that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't end well.
You and if you step back out of your subconscious or your conscience and say like, okay, are there any reasons why I should be afraid right now? I'm walking into a basement, no danger at all, no monster, no lions, nothing. No, it's just your pre-ancient
Who the
brain.
fuck puts a lion in a basement? And how did it
People.
get there?
People.
And wouldn't it like make a lot of noises? I mean, I can hear my cat from 3 rooms away scratching in the dark. Can you imagine a lion going at it?
No, but it's just your prehistorical. No,
It's part of your prehistoric brain because you don't
Yeah.
walk out into the dark because there were
It's just a
actually,
flight or
depending
fight,
on
you
your
know?
part in the world, were tigers.
It's flight or fight. You have this perception of danger.
Yeah, I know, but the thing with my dream was, and because there's a part of your brain checking if whatever you're hearing or seeing or thinking might be true. It's the same like, looking at those adverbs for dream catchers, and then there's still the dude inside the bakery eyes going, nah, bro, that's bullshit. So I dreamt, and I woke up, and it felt so real, that dream.
Yeah.
And everything felt so
Like you
absolutely
really lived it.
normal. And not for one moment I questioned myself that in my dream I've lived an entire life as a blue USB stick. 8 gigabytes.
Yeah, that's so weird, man.
And in my dreams it was like, I'm
It's
USB
real.
stick.
It's-
And I
this is it?
I wasn't unhappy.
Yeah.
I was quite a happy USB
Yeah.
stick as well. And I woke up like, dude, that was some bad weed.
But taking that fact that you dreamt something and you felt like it was real, that's the power of your brain, Like, imagine what your brain can do all day long. Like, what's happening here all day long without you even knowing it.
That is what I've been given it. When I give DJs advice, they're like, my sound isn't really like that. And, every time I make something, it sounds too much like this. Dude, stop thinking.
Start doing.
I have been producing all day with a massive jet lag. And I started out trying to make a remix or something. And then I was like, nah, it just sounds like too EDM-ish. I need some 11s and 13s and soul chords. I know nothing about soul chords, but I'm going to try it anyway because I don't give a flying fuck. I always want things that I'm unable to do because those are the most interesting things. And it's like, needs a vocal. No, well, let's vocal. The thing is, I ended up making a complete new track. I wanted to make a remix of something, and it ended up in a completely different key, having no element of the original track,
Stuff
not
happens.
even one note,
Yeah.
not even the same tempo, not even, I think it was like 20 BPM off even. So, but at not one point did I think. I never think when I'm producing. I'm just, yay.
You just go.
I just feel.
Yeah.
Hey, this feels good. Well,
Yeah.
Okay. And whenever I then get that, yes, but it doesn't sound right. There's this guy inside me with the baseball bat just kicking that thought out. I'll do the thinking when I'll do the mixing and mastering, and that's why I hate that part. But it's so important not to think and just to live your life. And that is getting so much harder in 2018 because you got to think whether or not your selfie game is on
Everyone-
fleek, if the lighting is okay.
And you get opinions all day long.
Yeah.
Like, on everything you do, because you share everything, you get opinions. And
I mean, assholes are like opinions. Everybody. Oh wait.
why would you even care, Like, just create music you like, put it out there,
Yeah.
and after you've put it out there, just see what happens. It might be the golden nugget, it might be shitty. you never know where your track's going to end up. And that's always my advice if people ask me, like, what should I do? Should I release it, yes or no? Just release it.
You just named my last point on the whole list.
Really?
The lack of control that contributes. Because we had lack of sleep, caffeine, overthinking, alcohol, drugs.
Mhm.
An insanely busy roster. Well, you talked about that in the beginning. Jet lags. Well, that's lack of sleep.
Yeah.
And, you know, the addictiveness of the status and it becoming natural to you. And, you know, we talked about
Changing
that.
your personality.
And then it's the point of having choices
Mhm.
and the lack of control therein. And
You just can't control everything in life. And
you actually can control very little.
yeah, very little. But you have to
You're
focus.
pretty much here for the ride.
Yeah, but you just have to focus on the things that you can control. And the rest is just see what happens, you know? Like, if you release a track, like I always sign it on a board, like this kind of network you put out. It starts off with one dot, which is your release date on Spotify, iTunes, People, and all these things. It starts getting plays, like let's say 1,000 lines from there, because you get 1,000 plays. Those lines have a network of 60 other people which might end up listening to your track, and it starts spreading and spreading and spreading. And it becomes this huge network of people who listen to your track.
Wait a second. Isn't that called Plague Inc.? You know?
Plague Inc.?
Plague Inc. Yeah, that's it's an iOS game
Oh,
where you're a virus that spreads.
oh yeah. Well,
It's pretty much like
it's
that.
actually like that. You know, you
But
planned it somewhere.
Once you put it online, for me, the moment I send the final master to my manager,
Mhm.
and then I'm done with the project.
Yeah, because
It's out of my hands.
You can't do anything more than that. Yeah, of course, promotion and marketing, but that's like the business side of it.
And
Creatively seen, your part ends there. You know, like that's it.
But you know, also a lack of control is due to rosters and what you said.
Mhm.
If you're playing Captain Hindsight, you probably did a few things different.
Yeah, a lot.
My agents are most of the time pretty happy with me, but not when it comes to flight planning.
Yeah,
Because pretty much all of the time when they say, all right, you got to go fly there, these are the flights. No. What do you mean, no? Because that's
No.
bullshit. Why is that bullshit? That is not the only flight. Yeah, that's the only... No, that's not the only flight. Yeah, but if we fly from this airport to that airport, it's cheaper, it's faster, and I can sleep more and it fits better in my roster. Why can I find this flight and you not? Yes, but then you're flying from Germany. Let me guess. From my house, driving to Dusseldorf is like 3 hours. Or following your planning and having to wait 8 hours in an airport.
take your chances.
So
yeah,
I'm always like on top of all my tour plannings and I always demand to have a work visa. You know, I don't fuck with national security of another
Yeah.
country. I've seen the state hotels, for example, in China. You know, the upside is they have Chinese food.
yep.
The downside is it's pretty crowded.
You're not the only one.
Nah.
Yeah.
So I'm really strict about that one, and people should not be afraid. For some reason, you're once you have a strong opinion, people think you're an asshole.
No, you're just, you know,
I know what I want.
I found a quote last week which was pretty on point. It was you can't be selfless without being selfish. So you have to choose for yourself to make other people happy and to make like good stuff happen in your life. You know, like if you're not making decisions for yourself, like you will lead someone else's life. Actually, you will follow someone else.
Yeah, and
if you
managers and agents and A&Rs are very good at leading somebody else's life.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where it all went wrong with me as well. I started following other people's opinion, and I stopped making decisions myself, which led to me completely disconnecting with my personality.
So basically, and I'm not trying to be the internet meme of last week that said, so basically,
Yeah,
you're just pretty much too much of a nice guy.
yep.
You're too friendly of a guy to be in this business.
I was a too nice guy, and it's been confirmed by.
Okay, all right.
It's been confirmed by a lot of people in the industry.
So you have like this official "I'm a nice guy"
I have
certificate.
one. I have a shirt.
You have the T-shirt.
Yeah. No, I had a talk with a few people who were key points in my career. So people, one guy who signed me my first record deal, one guy who brought me into an agency, one guy who gave me my first international tour. All those guys which were important to me in my career, I called them and asked them what was the reason why you wanted to work with me. What was the reason why you wanted to give me this opportunity? Why you wanted to give me this chance while there were 1,000 other people applying for the job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they all said the same thing. Because I liked you and you were a nice guy. Everyone.
Yeah, that
The
never,
only reason. Not my music, not my DJ sets, not my branding, my marketing, nothing.
that only worked for me at Dancefair. So, yeah, for some reason, usually when I get signed somewhere, it's because they pretty much have to, because I just pretty much put them in checkmate. And I'm not that big of an asshole, actually. I'm actually quite a nice guy, but I'm pretty serious about what I want. And if somebody just comes with shit terms, well, fuck
but
it.
that's the business side of you. I really didn't had that until 5 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of people think I only have a bark, but my bite, you'll never see me go to war. But people who have seen me go to war on a business level have seen it does not end well for the party involved. Because I'm a very loyal guy, but once I reach a certain point where somebody is screwing me over, by the time they have figured out I'm mad, I'm already like 3 years planning ahead of them, and you might as well just hand in the keys and walk away. Okay. I've built 3 of my companies on the ashes of a previous company that tried to fuck me over. That's how I got my first party organization. Started working for a party organization, and actually started doing the flyers at first, and then because I just gave them the flyers for the next party, and my flyers just look way better than the previous guy. Yeah. And I took the liberty of putting myself on the flyer, obviously for free. Flyers for free, but hey, I was at the party. So slowly I climbed up in the ranks, and at one point I was like pretty much the main promoter. I did all the talks with, the locations. I did all the contract negotiations. I did all the PR with people. I brought around tickets. I did all the designs. I did all the financial stuff. Yeah. And I'm always very loyal. I don't care if somebody started something; it's their thing, and if they want to share it with me, I'll take if they want to give. But I'm not gonna take your stuff. No, it's yours. And if you want to do this together, I'm really open for it. But I know the terms of how we work together, and I wouldn't do it if I wasn't cool with it. So at one point, that guy got a bit stupid, because the main sponsor of that party was also a client of my own media company, and I was working IT stuff for him. And this guy liked me a bit better than the promoter. And this guy was one of the smartest guys I ever met in my life. Was also delightfully paranoid, so he recorded every phone call.
Oh, wow.
So I already knew in advance that the promoter of which I worked for was going to kick me out of the company. Not because it didn't do well, because, hey, we sold out parties, but because I did too well. And he started spreading lies about me that were blatantly untrue, afraid. Because he was sort of afraid of me. Yeah. And then I got mad. I was like, hey, I'm putting my all in, I'm putting my best in, and I have no intention in overthrowing you. But hey, if you want to, not only, he could have just told me like, I'm not feeling this connection anymore. Let's end this. That was okay. But he started spreading slander and down-talking me to my customers of my media company at the time. So, never, ever mess with your IT guy. Because we are vindictive, evil people that read way too many fantasy books and other psycho shit. So, because I, had all the database, and by the time he kicked me out of all the system and changed all the passwords,
you already had everything.
Actually 3 months before that, I scrambled the entire database, so all the information was random information. It was like every cell phone number was just 06 random numbers. Every postcode looked like a postcode, but wasn't a postcode. It was randomized within the parameters of what, if you look at it, it seems normal. I know everybody had a Hotmail, Gmail, or Live, but I scrambled everything in there was scrambled, and I was working off a hidden secondary system, and I also built in a failsafe that if I didn't report in every day at a certain time, everything would self-destruct, and I buried that code so deep into the server that not even the web host could figure out for 3 days how the hell I did it. And there was a movie that came out about that time with Jim Carrey. The movie called Liar, Liar.
Oh, yeah.
And the movie was a poster, and Jim Carrey was there with his arms wide, and he was Liar, Liar. So I photoshopped this guy's head into the poster, Liar, Liar. And underneath there was, in the Hollywood poster, there used to be like, he was a lawyer. And then he lied to his wife and his children. And
The story.
Yeah, so he was a promoter, and then he lied to the people he worked with, didn't pay the security, and most of all, was stupid enough to fuck with the IT guy. This season, out of business. With his name and everything, and that just popped up on the website the day he canceled me out. Then I wasn't finished. No, I just got started. So I already prepared meetings with all the third parties involved, and I knew we had some debts with them, so I paid them their debt twice over. I took over their contracts with better terms.
I took them with you.
And no, I demanded that they would still get their money, but they would straight go to send, how do you call these bureaus that fetch your money? Money sharks, that kind of nasty. So I made sure everybody put like those guys on him.
Wow.
Sort of like a moral APB on his ass. I think he moved.
I'm lucky I didn't sign anything before I started doing this.
So, and based on those parties, I had parties with Hartwell and Afrojack and whatever. Yeah. But, nobody told me I should do that. But that's part of the story. I'm not usually the guy to get mad or be an asshole. But if you go too far, it justifies.
I actually have the same thing, like I'm a really nice and loyal guy, but I'm not really that bad as you. Like I don't fuck people up.
Normally
that bad,
I'm really relaxed, but this guy just pushed the envelope.
Yeah, but I'm just
really
more as in
relaxed.
I have my clear line, like I can take a lot from people, but there's this line. If you cross it, you'll probably enter the ignore zone, and you will never come into my personal life again. So
that is, I think, a much healthier thing because I wasn't on the level of a burnout, but that wasn't good for me anyway. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. First, some shameless promo for you.
Oh, wow.
So if you are interested right now in artist coaching, whether you are the big AAA artist with the budget to give this man his third and fourth house and pay for his upcoming child, and their studies and the studies of their grandchildren as well, please do connect him at artistcoaching.nl. And also, if you're not the AAA guy yet, but you think, you know what, I heard a whole lot of things and I'm, not getting enough sleep, I'm not feeling too well, I'm easily annoyed, a little bit depressed, lonely, and I feel like I'm basically doing this whole producing thing on autopilot and I'm getting pretty much lost, artistcoaching.nl. If you want to know anything about feeding hamsters, you can connect me at vatogonzalez.hamstermail.com. And for the last 30 seconds, before we're going to promote Dancefair a little more. Oh, about Dancefair?
What is he going to do
Dancefair?
Yeah, what are you going to do at Dancefair?
I'm going to do a panel at the Dutch DJ Foundation room. And
what day?
On Saturday at 12 o'clock.
On the Saturday, right.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about mental health and building my career and how to build a career, go down and build yourself up again.
That is great. By the way, can people reach you even if they've got this insecure question, not really knowing
sure.
like
you can find me all over social media, like all
is it okay if people send you a question? It's not like they're gonna get like, oh, thank you, I've answered your question, here's a bill.
No. I get a lot of questions and I do try to answer all of them. I don't answer promos as in promo tracks because I still
listen
get
to
them.
my demo, because otherwise you start doing that, you can self-coach yourself.
Exactly. So I don't do that, but if people have personal questions about music industry or about themselves, or
is their information safe and sound?
Yep, it is.
He's he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'll be sarcastic about it.
But you can find me all over social media. You can send me direct messages on Facebook, on Instagram, Snapchat. Or go to my website and fill in the contact form. It's also possible.
All right, I definitely want, if I've got the time, I'm going to check out your Dancefair panel because I will be there as well. For the last bit, 30 seconds, emergency advice by JoeySuki.
Wow. First of all, don't believe anyone's telling you. Just believe yourself and follow your own path.
And believe you.
And believe me, of course.
Yeah. Second of all,
learn how to say no.
Yes.
That's one of the most important things I've learned in my life. Make decisions that lead to making you happy, whether it's becoming a DJ or becoming a plumber. Nobody cares about what you do.
And also make decisions before the situation just makes decision for you.
Exactly. And stop overthinking, because overthinking kills happiness in a really big form.
And we all like you to be very happy panda bears at Dancefair. So I want to see you all. I will be there the whole weekend. And by the time I'm done there, I'm so annoyed by my own voice, I'll probably need him. So, Joey, thank you so much. You've been a great spiritual help. This was,
Thanks,
I think,
man.
one of the... I like this episode. It was really deep, and I hope you're still watching and hope you're not asleep.
It went everywhere, you know? Like
It went everywhere.
DJs, girls, science, neuroscience, everywhere.
And don't fuck with your IT guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Vato Gonzalez. Let's get fucked up!